Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on live and on archive. Check it out, man. Um, we did, you know, an impromptu drafted out a welterweight tournament about 2 nights ago. And yesterday we completed the very first half. It was fun stuff. It was about a 2-hour show. And we're a little late as far as, than I expected. But I wasn't expecting to stay up that long because I was really, really tired. But it was that fun. So I enjoyed it. And here I am a little earlier today as promised because I cannot be here all night long. You know what I'm saying? Like I cannot be here, forever. So, but I want to thank everybody joining me. Let me go ahead and share the video really quick. 1 second. All right, cool. A reminder on how the point structure works. Those that were on here yesterday already know. However, let me get this one on too. 1 second. All right. Cool, we're almost there. One moment. Come on now. I need this one on, so bear with me, everybody. I don't know why this thing isn't responding to what I'm pressing, but new devices. Look at this. I'm clicking on it, and it won't do anything. Is it frozen? What the hell's going on here? Wow. I don't know. Okay, there we go. I don't know. All right. Let's go ahead and pull it up. This is what I'm going to use to look at the numbers and stuff. So give me a second. There we go. Boxing Dialogue. What's going on to you, bro? All right. Let me go ahead and get this over here. What's going on? There we go. All right. We're live over here. I got this thing working over here. So we're ready to get this whole thing, started in a little bit. I want to make sure a couple more people come in, of course, as I am starting earlier today than I have recently. Let me share some news really quick of the actual tournament. See if I can go over the results from yesterday. Let me pull that up really quick. Give me a second. First, shout out to all the members from BFTB, NBT Boxing, AJ10, Teresa D, Big Dog Willie, Daryl Zapata, Ringside Reporter, Tony Boswell, Fanon International Boxing, Biff 0518, Chicano Prophet, E. Woodson, AMG 2, Jose Anaya, all part of the, that are part of the D-Style Boxing membership. I appreciate the support to everybody who supports this channel. You can join D-Style for just 99 cents. You can support the channel. That's all it is. Okay? That's really all it is. Check it out. Bam. All right. And Boxing Dialogue said, yo, what up? All right. I got my pen ready. Got my paper ready, but let me share yesterday's results really quick. Where's this shit at? Second. Trying to pull it up. Give me a moment. One of those should have had it ready before I started things, but it's all good. I'm going to share with you guys yesterday's results really quick. Before we proceed, some controversy, as expected with anything like this, man. It's going to be controversy, but I'm going to share these brackets with you. All right. This is the way it went down yesterday. First of all, can you guys hear me? Am I clear? I see people there, but I just need somebody to tell me you could hear me. All right. yesterday, the way it went down, we started with Manny Pacquiao versus Corey Spinks. Pacquiao took it and advanced. All right. Marcos Maidana against Ricardo Mayorga. And Ricardo Mayorga took it. I went in thinking Maidana, but, some people convinced me even. So, but they had Mayorga winning that one. Terrence Crawford versus Oscar De La Hoya. I'm a big Terrence Crawford fan, but Oscar De La Hoya, was given the nod by a pretty large margin. It was pretty one-sided. Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Pernell Whitaker. It's not a matchup I personally would have made, but it's a matchup that was made early. And many just said that might very well be the final. You know what I mean? Could have been the final. But they matched them up against each other. And if you saw how we did the draft, you understand why that is. Floyd Mayweather Jr. lost to Pernell Whitaker, right? The people that were in the panel at the time decided Whitaker, and even the chat, outside of a couple people, also voted for Pernell Whitaker as well. That's something. You know what I mean? Paul Williams then went on against Shane Mosley. Mosley won that one, but Williams did have some votes. What's going on at 88 Sports Time? I'm just waiting for some of the people from yesterday to come on, get the notification, all that. Make sure you guys share the video so we can get this show started. Victor Ortiz against Julio Cesar Chavez. Very one-sided. You know what I mean? So pretty one-sided, and Julio Cesar Chavez destroyed Victor Ortiz in the first round. Then we had, of course, Danny Garcia, Zab Judah. This was a surprise to me. I thought Zab would definitely take it, given how the first fight went. Even though I knew going in, I was going to vote for Danny, but I honestly felt I would be the minority in that. But people went for Danny Garcia. Very surprising. Amir Khan against Buddy McGirt. Some votes for Khan, but overall, Buddy McGirt did win it. All right. But there was some votes for Khan. It was a little more competitive than I thought it would be. As you guys can see, blue is fighters from the last 10 years. Red is fighters from the 90s, early 2000s. And as you could see, the blue got their ass whooped, bro. All right. Like fighters from the 90s, early 2000s whooped some ass. And one of them actually won the whole thing. Okay. Now, Chris NWO said it was a crooked judges. Maybe. But it was close. Make sure you guys throw a jab at the like button. By the way, share the video to get this ball rolling for sure. After that, Manny Pacquiao against Ricardo Mayorga, it was probably the closest of all of them. Okay, where it was kind of divided with the chat, the panel, but Manny Pacquiao managed to eke it out against Ricardo Mayorga. Oscar De La Hoya, Pernell Whitaker was pretty one-sided. Outside of a couple people in the chat, with single little points there, Pernell Whitaker took that one hands down. Shane Mosley, Julio Cesar Chavez, a lot of discussion, but I think the overall feeling was, as a welterweight, Mosley was a better fighter than Chavez. If it was 140, 135, which we could always do a tournament of, it will be interesting to do one, by the way. We're going to do more of these in all the divisions, but I think because of that, Mosley took it, but there was a lot of people, that had to think about it. It was one-sided with the panel, however. Some people voted for Chavez, but overall, that's that. From there, Danny Garcia against Buddy McGirt. It was actually pretty close, believe it or not. I was kind of surprised by that. Danny almost got the nod, but in the end, Danny managed to. Buddy McGirt handily won in the end. Then we went to Manny Pacquiao versus Pernell Whitaker. There was some discussion about that. A little more competitive than the De La Hoya Whitaker one, which surprised me. But Whitaker did manage to win it. Outside of a discussion, Manny Pacquiao definitely got routed by Pernell Whitaker in his welterweight tournament. And then Shane Mosley, Buddy McGirt, there was discussion. We had like EJ, for example, that voted for Buddy McGirt, and there was some votes for Buddy McGirt. It was competitive, but overall, Shane Mosley ended up taking the nod and advancing to the semifinal, going up against Pernell Whitaker. All right, Pernell Whitaker went head-to-head against Shane Mosley. There was a discussion, but very similar to the Manny Pacquiao situation. No one really wanted to give the nod to Mosley, but Manny agreed it would be very, very competitive, and Mosley could win, but ultimately most people agreed that Pernell Whitaker more than likely would win. All right, so that was yesterday's brackets. Pernell Whitaker goes on to the final. All right, and there is a Felix Trinidad. Absolutely, there is a Felix Trinidad boxing dialogue. No doubt about it. All right, let me get the link out here, by the way, for anybody that wants to come in. I would love to have a lot of the same people that we had yesterday in the panel so we could debate about this, so on and so forth. Let me go ahead and get the current bracket so you guys can take a look at it, okay? I think you can see it there. All right, there we go. So let me just share the full screen so you guys can see the full bracket there. I think this is a hell of a bracket. Don't sleep on this bracket, and I think it's going to have more debate than yesterday's. I don't know if the winner of this was going to be Pernell, but I know that that's going to have better discussion in my opinion. All right. Now, Fantasy Welterweight Tournament Part 2 of 2. Check it out. Sean Porter versus Maldrick Taylor. Timothy Bradley versus Hector Macho Camacho. Keith Thurman versus Joshua Clottey. Cal Brook versus Ike Corte. Then we'll go to the other side of the brackets. We've got Errol Spence versus Vernon Forrest. I can't wait to get to that one. Miguel Cotto versus Felix Trinidad. And so I don't piss off my Latino subscribers. Miguel Cotto against Felix Tito Trinidad. Devin Alexander versus Costa Sioux. Andre Berto versus Obakar. I'm actually liking that matchup, by the way. I know I wanted to vote that one out, but I'm glad we kept that one. It's going to have a good debate, hopefully. We will see. But I like that one. I really do. All right? I really do. Of all those matches, which ones do you guys think is the best of those? You know what I mean? Anybody that wants in the panel, click on the link. All right? We're just waiting a little bit. I'm purposely delaying it because I want, I could do it by myself too, but I want to make sure we have a little more as like yesterday, like some people said Spinks over Pacquiao, but it was only me and Big Dog Willie, you know what I mean? So, a little bit of patience, of course. 88 Sports Talk picked the Errol Spence match with Vernon Forrest. That is interesting, okay? So there's the other half. By the way, I know a lot of people, why didn't you have this guy? Why didn't you have that guy? Well, because we only went over one half yesterday, okay? What's going on to Reggie Owens in the chat, bro? Doing those play-by-play. Subscribe to Reggie Owens, all right? Spence versus Forrest is going to be very, very interesting. Very. And then the winner of that has to face the winner of Cotto Trinidad. All right? Now, you may notice Costa Sioux in there. I already know Costa Sioux didn't campaign at 147, okay? But the reason he's there, on Friday night, the chat selected Terry Norris. And, in fairness, I said no to Vargas and stuff like that, Fernando Vargas and some other fighters that were at 154. So, in fairness, I got to also not count Terry Norris. Terry Norris never even made 147 as a pro. So we can't have him on there. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. So it was kind of bothering me for a while. A subscriber kind of mentioned it too. And I was, you know what? Gonna get rid of him. So I put Costa Sioux in there. It's a name people recognize. He was a undisputed champion at 140. Okay. In a traditional sense, when we had 8 weight classes, that would have been a welterweight. And although I could envision. I'm just curious how Akasa Sue would do at 147 against some of these guys in his prime. I'm curious. So that's why I took it upon myself to put Akasa Sue. He'll be going up against Devin Alexander. Okay, in the very first round. We will see if Team Blue does a little better than the last time around, and we'll see who makes it to the semifinal. And in the end, all right, we're gonna have a choice to make. The winner of this bracket will face Purnell, Sweet Pea, Whitaker in the final. So that's that. Okay? And that one's going to be interesting. I may do a poll for that, or we may just decide it tonight. I don't know yet. All right? I don't know yet. Make sure you guys share this video on social media platforms. All right? Get a little more people on here. Stay on here. We're going to do this tournament. I want you guys to participate. To go over the point structure again. 1 point per vote in the chat. But if you're a member, like if you're a silver dragon, that's 2 points. If you're a red dragon, that's 4. Gold dragon, 6. Okay, that's if you join the membership, you get more points. Also, if you give a super chat, it's 1 point per dollar. So if you're a fanboy, somebody you really want them to win, you could help them win with a super chat. But you don't have to. You know what I mean? I'm just putting that out there. And of course, you remember the panel, that's 10 points. So I'm 10 points. All right. In a little bit, in about 4 or 5 minutes, we're going to start. And if I got to do it by myself with the chat, and that's how we'll do it. You know what I mean? At least start it. That's pretty much what we did yesterday. All right. What I want to ask the chat right now, of all these matches, which one do you believe is the toughest to pick out of all these matches? Which one, in your opinion, is like, man, that's a tough one? Which one, in your opinion? Which one do you think? That's right, Boxy. He didn't, but we're gonna, hypothetically put him in a 147-pound limit tournament here just for fun, just for kicks, and see how far Kasasu can go. You know what I mean? If anybody wants to, again, join a panel, you can click on the link. Come on. You know what I mean? I know I started a little earlier today, but that's okay. All right. There is the link. You could join at any time. Which one do you guys think? I'm asking the chat a question. I know you guys are there. Which one of all these matches? Let me take out the D-Style Boxing logo so I can make it bigger here. Hold on. Take that off right there. Let's expand this a little more. Okay. Well, that's as much as it's going to let me, apparently. But of all these matches, which ones do you believe, in your opinion, is the toughest to choose from? The Brotherhood says Cal Brook against Ike Cortez. It's a tough one. Chicano Prophet says he's curious about Spence Forrest. The Truth versus the Viper. All right. Carver says Sweet Pea versus Mayweather is the one for me, but this one, yeah, I still don't know why. Who is it again that put Whitaker against Mayweather in the first round? I don't know, but just for fun, I may do. We got a full panel, just like a rematch with Floyd and Purnell. But Cortez Brook, a lot of people think Cortez Brook. I'm not actually surprised by that. You guys think that's a tough fight to pick? Okay. Porter Tater. Okay. All right. Yeah, you could put Ricky Haddon. You could. Yeah, you could have put Ricky Haddon, but nobody picked Ricky Haddon. You know what I mean? And he fought at 147. There's Luis Calazo. Nobody really picked him. You know what I mean? But, what are you going to do? He picked me. It's Afro Rican's fault. All right? But this is going to be very... And by the way, with some of these names on here, bro, styles make fights. It's not a given who's going to win. You know what I mean? So the order, everything was drafted out by the subscriber. Let's get this started. Okay, we're just gonna get this started. Let's go ahead, full head on. Okay, we're gonna go full-fledged right ahead here. Okay, who's ready? Press 1 if you're ready right now. Coro Trinidad, tough too. It is tough. Really tough. Puerto Rico versus Puerto Rico. It's going to be interesting. By the way, just so you guys kind of understand, so at welterweight, when they were at their best, at the weight class or close to the weight class. Okay? That's it. However, you want to rationalize it, it's up to you. Like, you guys make that choice. Okay? You guys make that decision. Not me. I don't make that decision. All right? Give me a second here. Hold on. One moment. One second. All right. With that done, everybody's ready to start this. Everybody's ready to get started. Let's get started. Okay? The way it's structured, we can work it out either way. All right. And we're going to start with Sean Showtime Porter. Is we're going to start right now. Right? Sean Showtime Porter versus Meldrick Taylor. Right? That's where we're starting right now at this time. All right? This is an interesting matchup. Taylor was considered one of the best pound for pound in the world when he was at 140. Right? Sean Porter's definitely a bigger man than, as far as his bone structure and all that, you know, and weight than a Meldrick Taylor was at his very peak. You know, Taylor did fight above the 147 pound limit. Okay. So what makes this interesting, I don't think there's going to be much dispute that Meldrick Taylor was a far more skilled fighter than Sean Porter. But how would this fight play out at 147 pounds with that weight limit? Right. So we have to kind of, you know, think about that, put that in retrospect. And this is, again, assuming that Taylor was at his very peak, at his best, before he fought Chavez, before he, you know, took a lot of body work right there, AJ10. You know, so I want you guys to think about that predicament. I want you guys to think about how you personally see that. All right. So do me a favor right now. All right. Press 1 if you think Sean Porter takes it. Press 2 if you think Meldrick Taylor takes it in his welterweight fight. Let's get this one started. Let's see who's going to advance here. Let's see your votes in the chat right now. Make sure you share the video, by the way. I might be surprised by this. We'll see. Let's see. All right, so AJ10, Chicano Prophet, man. Interesting. Jose Anaya voted. That's 6 points for Jose Anaya. Man, a lot of people picking Porter. I'm surprised. Holy shit. Porter is taking this one by the looks of it so far, and some members even voted from. Boxing Dialogue does pick Meldrick Taylor. All right. So it's close. It's 13-7 so far. So anyone else that wants to vote, put your vote in. Not everyone that's watching is voted yet. Put your vote in. 1 for Sean Porter, 2 for Meldrick Taylor. Right? And I'm going to give until 6:40 if anybody wants to join in the panel to vote for either guy. All right? But, I mean, I already know who I have winning. Boxing Dollar, you can't say draw. There's no draws here. You got to pick a winner. There's the link. until 2 minutes for a panel member to join and give their take here. If not, I'm going to give my take. All right, Carver Williams voted for Porter. All right, that's another point for Porter. All right, so while you guys vote, let me tell you why I believe Mal Dictator would win. All right, Batiste style. Now, could Porter give Mal Dictator a lot of problems? Absolutely. Okay, but a prime Mal Dictator, even though he was at 140, make a fight at 147. Okay, he'll probably weigh 145 or something, right? Okay, it's too much hand speed, in my opinion, for Sean Porter, right? It's a little too much hand speed. The footwork, he's just a little too fast for Sean Porter. He'll put too many punches together, for Sean Porter, right? In my opinion. I think Porter would get warned a lot by the ref, trying rough tactics, and he's going to have to, at some point, box Mal Dictator on the outside. And I honestly believe Mal Dictator would box circles around him. Too fast. You could look at, let's take a fight that he should have won, but they counted a knockout in the end against Chavez, which was at 140. But look against a master, that's a guy like Chavez, who, in my opinion, was better at gauging distance and cutting through the mid range and the short range than a Porter, who's a little more wild. Mal Dictator was able to beat him to the punch, beat him often, sometimes hit him 2-3 times before Chavez could get one in. The body work did do him in, but the question is, would it be enough for Porter? You know what I mean? Like, would that be enough for Sean Porter to overcome? All right. Now, what I'm going to do with this one, okay, I'm putting my points for Tater right now. Did anybody else vote? Is that it? Anybody else want to vote for Tater or Porter? Anybody at all? Carver, okay, I got your vote in, all right? Is that it? It's 15-17 right now for Taylor at this moment. No more votes for Sean Porter or Tater. Going once. Going twice. All right, that's it. All right, that's it. Mal Dictator wins, guys. All right. Mal Dictator wins this one. All right. Is that the crowd booing me right now? I don't know. But Mal Dictator advances. Okay, we're going to move on to Timothy Bradley. Okay. Timothy Bradley versus Hector Macho. All right. Camacho. All right. Afro-Rican just came in and said, Porter. All right. I'm going to put an asterisk next to this one. All right. And more people join. I have the scorecard here. I already know who voted. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to put an asterisk next to Tater Porter. We're going to re-go to that one. Okay. So we'll go to that one. We'll see. But let's move on. Bradley versus Hector Macho Camacho. All right. This one is a very interesting matchup. Very. All right. Timothy Bradley, one of those fighters that had a lot of success at 140, ended up moving up at some point at 147. But I think most agree Bradley wasn't the best 147-pounder out there, but or he wasn't as good, obviously, as he was at 140. But, take into account what he did do at 147, I should say. All right. A lot of success for him there. Maybe not as much. But Bradley at his very, very peak against Hector Macho Camacho at his best at 147. All right. is what we're going to go ahead and go to now. This should be a very interesting matchup. All right. If we kind of look at this one, all right. So Bradley is a 1. Camacho's a 2. Give me a reason why you guys think you have one or the other, but let's go ahead and do the vote right now. Press 1 for Bradley. Press 2 for Hector Macho Camacho. And who do you have winning that matchup? And why, that is, I should say. 1 and 2 answers that question, but why do you have 1 and why do you have 2? 1 for Bradley, 2 for Camacho. What do you guys got? It's a lot of punch for Camacho right there by Jose Anaya. And everyone else, go ahead and tell me who you have winning that matchup. Timothy Bradley versus Hector Macho Camacho. I mean, that's up to you, Christian NWO. That's up to you to decide. Nothing but votes for Camacho so far. Another vote for Camacho. So far, 3 votes for Camacho. 1's a golden member, too. So, Afro-Rican says Timothy Bradley. Why do you guys what do you think he wins, Afro-Rican? Boxing Dialogue goes with Bradley. Chicano Prophet. That's 6 points for Bradley right there with Chicano Prophet's vote. Christian NWO goes with Bradley. AJ 10. That's 4 points. For Bradley, that's huge right now. And interesting. Why? I know African said it's a close one. Why do you think it's close? Well, why do you guys think Bradley would beat Hector Macho Camacho at 147 pounds? What do you guys see in Bradley? Or vice versa? Why do you believe Hector Macho Camacho would beat Timothy Bradley? This is a big one right here. It's competitive. What do we have right there? Okay. So right now, so far, African thinks Bradley would rough him up, put pressure on him, kind of keep it on the inside, 1-1-2 head put him. You know what I mean? Makes sense. I think Bradley would be more active to edge it out to AJ 10. Okay. Activity? You guys think activity could take it? All right. What about the elusiveness of Hector Macho Camacho? His foot speed, his hand speed. Do you think it would matter? It's interesting. I'm kind of surprised a lot of you got Bradley winning. Any more votes for Bradley? Jose Anaya says too fast, tough, slick, and he picked Hector Macho Camacho. It's a big vote for Camacho right now, right? The link is in the chat, by the way, if anybody wants to come on. But let's see here. Is that it? Once again, 1 for Bradley, 2 for Camacho. Give me your votes. I didn't see 88 Sports Talk there, but he has Camacho. All right. Okay, all right. You utilize a jab, hold. Okay. Is it an exciting matchup? Boring? Ugly? Camacho, 88 arguing that Camacho will be ahead of him. Okay. Bradley's technical skills, resiliency, and heart will be tough to overcome. And the headbutt is the black cherry eye on top. All right. Very interesting. Any more votes for Bradley? Any more votes for Camacho? 1 for Bradley, 2 Camacho. A lot of Christian Deville says fun to watch. Afro-Rican believes it'll be an ugly fight. Very interesting. Anticlimactic, says AJ10. I agree. It will be very anticlimactic. I do believe this will be a very, very close matchup. I think Bradley's a little more faster than people give him credit for. I think I agree, AJ10. The ref would be involved a lot in the fight and stuff like that. No doubt about that. I just feel like I'm gonna be the decider no matter what now, because regardless of who I pick. So any more votes for anybody else? All right. If I pick who I pick, that guy's gonna win right now. All right. So any more votes for Bradley? 1, Hector Camacho. 2, anybody? Is that it? I only have 8 voters, bro, and I got 12 people on here. 4 people watching that haven't voted. 1 for Bradley, 2 for Camacho. Unless I'm not counting right, I don't know. I do happen to agree that with the majority of people here, I think Bradley would win a very ugly, an ugly fight. I don't think it would be I think it would be a very, very ugly matchup. But some just tells me Timothy Bradley would win in the end. I think it would, again, a very, very ugly matchup. I think it would. I think when the final bell rings, both sides will feel they won. You know what I mean? I think both sides will feel they won, but I do believe Bradley would come out on top. All right. Bradley's really good at timing, and it's the one way you could beat Camacho's with timing, right? So I see this as a potential draw, but like a 7-5 type fight. Very, very close. Very, very competitive. Camacho probably knocks Bradley down in the fight at least one time, which could kind of tip it to his favor. But I'm going to have to go with Timothy Bradley. All right. I'm going to go with Timothy Bradley on this one. All right. So Timothy Bradley wins it. We're going to move on to the next matchup. All right. We're going to move on to the next matchup. We got these 2 on deck right now, which is Keith Thurman versus Joshua Clottey, Cal Brook versus Ike Corte. We're going to go over these 2 matches right now. All right. Jose and I understand that, but, we're going to move on with that. Okay. So let's see. Let's do Keith Thurman. One time, Keith Thurman versus Joshua Clottey. All right. Is what we're going to do next. All right. We're going to do one time Keith Thurman versus Grandmaster Clottey at their best. Whenever you think Thurman was at his best, whenever you think Clottey this was pretty easy in terms of when to gauge when they were at their best. These guys were welterweights, right? I'll tell you guys who I think should win, but let's see. Let's give me a 1 for Thurman and give me a 2 for Joshua Clottey. Go ahead. Put it in the chat. 1 for Thurman and a 2 for Joshua Grandmaster Clottey. Let's hear it. What do you guys got? Got 13 people on here, 13 likes. Glad to see. Stay here so we can vote for the other ones, by the way. Share the video. And I don't know where all the people said they're going to be here tomorrow, the panel are, but it's all right. Okay? Let's go ahead and take a look here. Grandmaster Clottey getting no love. Look at this. 188. One Chicano Prophet. Christian NWO 1. Thurman circled around Clottey all day for the win. Very interesting. AJ says 1. Jose Anaya says 1. Boxing Conversation, Reggie Owen says 1. Carver Williams 1. Boxing Dialogue does pick. He does pick Clottey. I want to know why. Why do you think he would win, Boxing Dialogue? Why do you think he wins that matchup? Right? AJ 10. Clottey covers too much, and Thurman racks up points. Very interesting. Many people may see it that way. Once again, 1 for Thurman, 2 for Clottey. Who do you guys believe wins this matchup? All right. So let's go ahead and see here. I'm curious as to Clottey breaks down Thurman behind a high guard. I could envision that. I could envision him blocking a lot of his shots. You know, and as Thurman tires out, probably Clottey could start attacking. My only problem with Clottey has always been this: the guy didn't have a killer instinct, man. Right? The guy wouldn't go for the kill, bro. Right? The dude just wouldn't go for the kill ever. Like, I don't know what that was about, but Joshua Grandmaster Clottey, a little too patient. And you look at the matches he lost against Margarito, Cotto, even though you could argue the other way around. I mean, it was a lot of it was his doing. You know what I mean? And I do believe that Thurman would get the nod due to activity in the end. Look at that, bro. Keith Thurman gets a W, bro. Keith Thurman wins this one flying away. All right. Keith Thurman wins this one hands down. Look at that. Anybody else wants to argue? I know African said Clottey, but just to make it easier, guys, 1 or 2. Right? Clottey shouts up too much. Defense, not enough offense. Is Jose Anaya. And that's one of the issues. You could just strike upstairs, pop, 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 and just boom, throw to the body. And even though you're covering up, blocking most of them, since you're not throwing enough yourself, the activity alone, I think, would give Keith Thurman the nod. All right? So I do agree with that. I think Thurman, with more activity, wins about 8 rounds, in my opinion, over Joshua Clottey. The fight might, and some people might say he never even hit him. And the only one that landed anything, even though it wasn't that much, was Clottey or something, but still. Okay. Chris Sandoval says Clottey gave Margarito and Cotto good beatings. Here's the thing. He had Cotto in front of him, okay, blind from an eye from a cut, and he wouldn't go for the kill, bro. So, you know, that always made me question Grandmaster Clottey personally. So I'm just saying, okay. People forget how good Clottey was. Well, if they did, I'll tell you right now, I think he was really good. I just think Thurman would stay on the outside, come in, kind of ambush him. Stay on the outside, come in, boom, 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 and then get the hell out of there. And I think he would have most of the activity. That's why I think, personally, I think that's why Keith Thurman, one time, Keith Thurman. Look at that, guys. Keith Thurman advances. So Keith Thurman advances to the next round. All right? Alpha Rican G ain't happy. Look, he's mad. Look, he's protesting. Alpha Rican G's angry. Let's go Ike Corte versus Cal Brook. All right? Make sure you guys share the video, social media platforms. Thumbs up the video. All right? Let me share this one more time. Give me a second. Get this out. Get it out there and stuff. All right, anyway, all right, we're good. All right, so let's go ahead and go. The next matchup to finish this half of the bracket is Cal Brook versus Ike Corte. All right, Cal Brook versus Ike Corte is next here. All right, so I want you guys to tell me right now. We're not going to do the 1 to 2 just yet. Tell me who you have winning. Let's make a case. Because I'm a little torn. D-Style is a little torn on this one. Okay? So I want you guys to give me, present a case for the guy you believe would win this fight. Okay? Shout out to Kelly Enigma, new member to D-Style Boxing membership. I appreciate the support. All right. Much appreciated. Shout out to Kelly Enigma. Jose Anaya says Cal Brook, better boxer. Interesting. What about the jab, bro? What about Bazooka's jab? So tell me, how's Cal Brook not going to break an orbital bone with that jab? You know what I mean? And somebody tell me, but I'm still torn. Cal Brook, a better boxer. Brook lost suspense, but you can say Triple G had a good influence on that match. All right, some of you may believe that Triple G thing hurt Cal Brook, and okay. The Corte that fought De La Hoya would give anyone problems. Absolutely. And some people feel he won that fight. I don't. I think De La Hoya won in the end, but hey. I think De La Hoya won that in the 12th round, personally. I think he had a hell of a 12th round. Look at this. I'm going to have a beer right now. This is very, very interesting. And once again, man, thanks to Cali Enigma for joining. We got 17 people on here. Let's get to those 17 likes. Stay on it. We got a whole tournament to go through. If you want to join the panel to make it a little more interesting, all right, go ahead and do so. Let me see Kiss Cali votes just to know his level here. Give me a second. How the hell do I check? Give me a second, guys. How do I check this? While I check this, give me a 1 for Cal. If you have Cal Brook winning, give me a 2 if you think Ike Corte special versus Bazooka. This is going to be very interesting. I have no idea who's going to win this. I got to be honest with you guys. Let's see. I don't know, Kristen, we're not going to do other fantasy matchups while we're already doing fantasy matchups, but I appreciate your question. Man. Why isn't this thing coming up? There we go. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. Cali's a golden dragon, bro. He could have an influence in the votes for sure. All right. All right. I don't even know if Kelly's on live. Are you live, Kelly? Are you on with us, Kelly? I'm not sure. Let's see the votes here. Give me a 1 for Cal Brook. Give me a 2 for Ike Corte. Man, Chicano Prophet just voted for Ike Corte. Jose Anaya evens it out. He got Cal Brook. AJ 10, that's 4 points. He's giving those. Look at that. He's giving those to Ike Corte. Enigma. He's got Bazooka. Carver Williams says 2. 88 Sports Talk, 2. Boxing Dialogue has 1. That is interesting. Okay. As of right now, even if I vote for Cal Brook, he's not going to win. Okay. But once again, 1 for Cal Brook, 2 for Ike Corte. You guys that got Cal Brook got to convince me. Well, why does he beat him? Well, why does he beat Ike Corte? Chris Indeb, in my opinion, De La Hoya, but Spence's career is not over yet. You know what I mean? But if that answers your question. Kristen NWO says 1. That's a vote for Cal Brook. Brook still needs more votes, bro. Or he needs a panelist to come in and vote for him. You know what I mean? There's a chat. If anybody wants to come in as a panelist and vote, that's 10 points for whoever, you know what I mean? So for what it's worth. Don't be camera shy. You don't have to show your face. Okay. This is interesting. You guys are. Anybody going to make a case for Brooke? Because if not, it's a wrap for him. Boxing Dialogue says because he's British. Because he's British. I don't think something tells me you're not really going to convince anybody with that one. All right. What's going on, Kelly?
What's going on? What's happening?
Got Jose on here too. What's going on, Jose?
Nothing much, man. Right. Just call in to vote.
You got to try to convince me too that Ike Cortez is gonna lose to Kell Brook. No disrespect to this era. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, and I like this era. Yeah. To me, this era is not on par with Oscar De La Hoya. I thought Oscar De La Hoya fought far stiffer competition. It was even deeper than the current welterweight division is deep, but it wasn't as deep as that one as it was then. Oscar De La Hoya fought far better competition than what we see today. And that's I mean we're still learning about Earl Spence.
De La Hoya actually beat Terrence Crawford yesterday. Got eliminated by Whitaker.
I picked. That's why if you saw I had the final. Well, what I ended up with Floyd versus Mosley, and that's only because I saw Floyd versus Oscar De La Hoya. That was a very close fight, but that's basically it. But I can't pick.
Look at this.
I can't pick anybody in this era over Oscar. No disrespect.
Well, let's see here. Another vote for Ike Cortez is not looking good. Brooke is losing ground, bro. Brooke needs a miracle right now. Jose, you picked who do you pick again? Brooke?
Yeah, I just picked Kell Brook. Can you hear me?
Yes. Well, that gave Brooke a little better chance. Well, tell us why. Well, why did you pick Brooke?
Well, I picked him because I like his boxing ability, but I'm not gonna lie. After looking at Cortez, I would have to say he's pretty good himself, and it's similar. I would say. Well, I would say Cortez attributes. The only reason I picked Brooke is because Brooke has similar attributes. Like Cortez would be like his strength, his jab. So he has all those things going for him, but I see Brooke has those same things.
Right.
And if you add the boxing, like the mastery of his craft, I mean, which Cortez is a good boxer, he's a good jab, yes, but he had some good fights with De La Hoya and all those guys, but he never really jumped through the roof, He never went to the next level in my eyes. Yeah, I know they say yeah, pretty much.
I got you. Let's Shad here. Who is this? What's going on, bro? Shad, you there? Shad Mullen.
Unmute yourself, man. Oh, he left.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to recognize you guys to let you on because then shit like that happens and it kind of annoys me. Okay.
But he might have some audio problems.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Reset.
If he comes back, we'll give him another shot. Let's see, guys. I'm glad you guys came on because I just to finalize two fights really quick, and I want you guys to vote on this. Is basically going to decide who wins. So going back to Taylor, Maldrick Taylor versus Sean Porter. Again, this is at 147 pounds. Callie, who would win that fight in your opinion?
Sorry, I'm going Maldrick Taylor. I like Sean Porter. Sean Porter's not going to back down. It'll be a good fight. But I got Maldrick Taylor, man. Maldrick Taylor, in my opinion, is far too skilled. I think that he would keep Sean Porter on the outside. I think he would throw a shit ton of uppercuts. And I think that he would end up frustrating Sean Porter, forcing Sean Porter. Even though Sean Porter is a heck of an athlete, so he'll have an advantage. I mean, ability to get on the inside. He's one of the best athletes I've ever seen in the welterweight division. But as far as just pure boxing skill, Maldrick Taylor is one of the best, man. I think Maldrick Taylor beats him hands down.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
A lot of great comments, guys. I'll share them as they come in. But to keep it moving, Jose, do you see it any differently, or do you got Porter?
No, I would agree with the Kelly on this one. As far as in that era, I would say that Medrick Taylor was one of the toughest and fastest guys out there, and he also had boxing ability. As we saw with Chavez, he was boxing him, around circles around him, but Chavez caught up to him. But yeah, I would go with Taylor on that one.
All right, so there you go, guys. I mean, he had already won, but I gave Porter another shot, but that he actually got beaten even worse now. Okay, so and finally, Hector Macho Camacho versus Timothy Bradley at 147 pounds. Cali, how do you see it?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one right there.
It is, and it was way too close.
That's tough because the thing is, we don't know which Hector Camacho that's gonna show up.
Right.
That's the problem. So if I can guarantee, if you can guarantee me that the best Hector Camacho will show up, I would probably go with him. Oh man, you just don't know, man, with Hector Camacho, which one.
There's one thing we know with Bradley, he's gonna show up.
Yeah, Bradley's gonna show up all the time. He's gonna be in phenomenal shape. He's gonna be prepared, mentally sharp. And Hector Camacho, you don't know. Damn, that's such a coin flip, man. I mean, it wouldn't be a coin flip if you told me that I was gonna get a game Hector. I'm picking Hector, man. But damn, I don't know, man. Man, I'm gonna go with Timothy Bradley because even though I think that Hector Camacho is a better boxer, I'm gonna go with Timothy Bradley because he's consistent, man. You just don't know what Hector. That's just too much of a gamble. Man. I'm gonna go with Timothy. I'm gonna go with Timothy Bradley, man.
Jose, I think you already voted, but I just knocked him down. But who did you vote for?
I voted for Camacho, man. It was a tough one actually because Bradley is one of my favorite fighters, and he has that never gives up. He's actually a very good boxer, like skill wise. But I just went with Camacho. These were not easy picks, but I went with Camacho because of he never been knocked out, and I know he sometimes makes for boring fights because he worries just about not getting knocked out. But I just like Cali said, which Camacho, if it's the fast one, and actually I kind of picked for Camacho because lately I've been watching some of his fights, and I just basically that's why I picked him. Maybe I'm just living in the present, but he was pretty good.
With your panel vote, I mean, it was close. It's one of the closest ones we've had. You know what I mean? It was split in the chat. A lot of different votes. Bradley had already won with Cali's vote and Jose kind of breaking even right now. It stayed the same. Bradley will advance, guys. Okay.
Hey, but I can say this for one last thing. Yeah. It just shows you it wouldn't. I don't think it would have been as hard if you knew what Hector Camacho was going to show up.
Right.
It's you don't know. He didn't allow you to know, and It's sad because he didn't train that hard all the time.
Right.
And that's one of the downsides. He was a very talented guy, but mentally wasn't always there, and that's a problem.
Yeah, mentally he was not always there, and we know Bradley's consistent, bro. You know what I mean? And I think that goes a long way with a lot of people. Consistency, always showing up. You know what I mean? And he won it. And finally, this one it was so one-sided. But I'm just curious what you guys think. Thurman versus Clottey. Cali, how do you see that one? Keith Thurman, Joshua Clottey.
They said Keith Thurman versus Clottey. That's another tough one. But I mean, we've seen Clottey at his best. To me, Clottey at his best, knowing that Keith Thurman can't take body shots. Man, I'm going with Clottey, man. I'm not trying to be funny. I think Clottey in his prime, because we're talking about prime, right? Yeah, Clottey in his prime. I like Clottey over Keith Thurman, bro. I do.
Well, what about who did you have, Jose?
I had Keith Thurman.
Okay, yeah. I think the reason I picked him, because even though like Cali, I could envision Clottey like hurting Thurman to the body and then letting him off the hook. I could totally see that happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like the way he had Cotto hurt and Cotto couldn't see from an eye, blood all over the place. And Clottey wouldn't go for the kill, bro. You know what I mean? So
you're right on that one. You actually right on that one, man. It's really Cause Claudio was the kind of guy who would let you off the hook, man. And I don't know what happened in the Pacquiao fight. He just decided to not even let him throw any punches, man. But
he said he had diarrhea. Then he said something else. Okay, but
Claudio's a much better fighter than what he showed all the time. He's kind of a guy, in my opinion, that in the middle of we're talking about guys to stay focused. He's the kind of guy who loses focus in the middle of the fight. So yeah, you're right, man. Let me switch it up. Let me go with Keith Thurman, man. I know you're not supposed to switch, but I'm gonna switch. Keith Thurman, man.
You could switch. It's all good. So now it looks like Corte advanced, guys. That one was close, though. I'm kind of surprised that one was close. All right, these are good matches, man. Now this is gonna be tough, bro. All right, is the chat ready for this one? All right. Errol Spence, the Truth, versus Vernon Forrest, the Viper. Man.
That's a good fight, man.
That is a good fight. That's a really good fight.
That's a damn good fight, man.
88 Sports Talk picked this fight when we were drafting off the fights. This is what one he picked.
That's a damn good fight, man. That's a fight that really could go either way because but Vernon Forrest seemed to have fought. He seems to do pretty. He seems to have fought better against orthodox fighters. It's the unorthodox fighters that really gave him problems. Damn, that's a good fight. God, I mean that's a really good fight. You know what I'm gonna go with? I'm gonna go with Vernon Forrest, not because there's a flaw in Errol Spence Jr. that I think that Vernon Forrest will take advantage of. Errol Spence Jr. when his opponent throws punches, covers up, he doesn't really look to counter. So I have to go with Vernon Forrest because of that. That's a major flaw from a boxer, someone who's skilled as Vernon Forrest. I got to go with Vernon Forrest over Errol Spence because of Errol Spence's problem not letting his hands go with his opponents, not punching with his opponents. And on top of that he tend to leave his jab hanging out there, and I think that Vernon would counter over that.
Okay. Man, that's interesting. Jose, how do you see this, man? Vernon the Viper Forrest against Errol the Truth Spence. I think you're frozen up right there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was getting a call, man. My uncle's trying to call me. Man, I know. Vernon Forrest beat Shane Mosley.
Damn.
I'm just gonna go with Errol Spence, man. But I'm not gonna lie. I lack all the. I will have to see more film on the Viper. But I pretty much know what Errol Spence brings to the table. But I'm just trying to think if Vernon has anything that will get to Errol Spence. But
okay.
For now, I'd go with Errol Spence.
Gonna go with Errol Spence. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'll save my vote for now. I want to see what the chat thinks. All right. Here comes the vote. This is an interesting matchup. Errol Spence versus Vernon Forrest. Press 1 for Spence, 2 for Forrest. And I'll tally up the points as people go ahead. Okay. It's going to be 1, all right, for Spence, 2 for Forrest.
Yeah, I know I'm going to get outvoted here because a lot of people haven't don't remember how good Vernon Forrest was. People keep thinking about the Ricardo Mayorga fight. But remember, Mayorga was very unorthodox, and he struggled with that. The technical fighters didn't struggle with quite as much as he did. Mayorga was just a horrible stylistic matchup. Errol Spence is somebody who's technical, who's more right up his alley. And I think people forget about that when it comes to Vernon Forrest. He really did struggle with Mayorga, though, man. But I would actually pick Errol Spence to decimate Ricardo Mayorga because he would just stay on his body and end up stopping him. And that's the way. But styles make fights. But yeah, I got Forrest over Mayorga, and I have Spence over Mayorga. So as you can see, we see Mayorga over Forrest. So
there is a lot of votes for Spence, that's for sure. Here's what I want you guys to think about. So if you guys remember the Cal Brook fight, Spence ended up winning that fight. but Cal Brook was having a lot of success boxing him early. Spence switched it up a little bit, and but the question would be, let's say, because I honestly believe the same thing would kind of happen. The question is, what Spence, going at him, turn the fight around. You know what I mean? So I just need to know if that would work for Spence. You know what I mean? I'm not too sure about that. I'm gonna have to. I'll be honest. I am leaning towards Vernon Forrest. All right. A lot of guys are just using like general terms, like Spence would dogfight with Forrest, though. What do you mean? Like you know what I mean? That could mean a lot of things.
What about counterpunching, man? That's I'm just telling people, like, you guys, some more nuances to it than from a stylistic standpoint. I just see that's a major flaw though with Earl. He covers up.
Yeah, not only that, Kelly, like Vernon destroyed fucking Mosley. Yes,
badly.
Yes, Mayorga beat Forrest, but it doesn't work that way. Look at what Mosley did to Mayorga.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Make fights. You saw it went the other way. When Mosley fought Mayorga, he decimated him. But when Forrest beat Mosley twice, really pretty, just easily. Styles make fights, man, and that's what people have to understand. But the funny thing is though is Vernon Forrest. People don't know about Vernon Forrest destroyed Shane Mosley in the amateurs as well. So it wasn't a surprise actually. Shane Mosley was beaten by Forrest regularly in the amateurs when they fought, and then when they got to the pros, the same thing happened. So, I mean, I remember that body shot he threw, and Shane Mosley basically screamed, bro, from the body shot that Vernon Forrest landed on him. I thought that Shane Mosley was going to get stopped. Remember, I thought he was going to get stopped, but he, that was a hell of a beating that Shane Mosley took by Vernon Forrest. Beat the shit out of him, man. I mean, just beat the shit out of him. Well, that was astonishing.
I mean, look, I get it, right? Spencer's the guy that's hot right now. You know what I mean? And not only that, like people are using the Ricardo Mayorga fight. We don't know who Spencer's going to lose to in the future. You know what I mean?
No, we don't.
But hey, it's fantasy and stuff. Guys, this is close. It's really close. Okay, I'm gonna do a roll call one more. If you already voted, though, don't post. But no doubles. Okay, but Cal Brook won. Oh, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? Spence won. Forrest 2. Whoever has not voted. If you just put a name, guys, I didn't count it because I'm looking through the chat. So 1 or 2. AJ believes, he would change his approach against Vernon Forrest. Interesting. I could see that. I could see Spence making adjustments. The question is, what's he going to do when Forrest makes his adjustments? The jab. That's another thing I think people are overlooking. But we're going to go ahead and do this right now. Going once. That's another vote for Spence. That's a vote for Forrest. Holy shit, this was close. Jose Anaya. Is that you, Jose? Jose, you there? I don't know, bro. I don't know if you fell asleep or what, but
yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, because we can't count your vote twice, Jose. You know what I mean? Spence walks down Forrest, hits Forrest with a quick straights and hooks. Forrest will counter with his straights, but not be as effective as Christian NWO.
No, I think people are crazy, man. Go ahead and pay attention to Earl Spencer jab when he leave that bitch hanging out there, man. I'm telling you, he's subject for major counters, man. If Vernon Forrest would counter him, he has a high boxing IQ. I think you guys would be surprised, man. I don't think this fight goes the way that people think it does. I understand that Earl Spence is hot right now, and I don't really see too many people beating Earl Spence right now, especially at welterweight. Yeah,
I mean, we got overruled, Kelly. The score was 25-24.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta get 25-24 is really close. I understand though. I understand why a lot of people pick Earl Spence because he's hot right now, but they really disregard because they haven't seen. Unfortunately, Vernon Forrest died trying to get back his jury in Atlanta. He sat there and got shot to death. He was murdered by the dude. I think the guy who killed him ended up getting like the death penalty, some shit like that. But I'm just saying, man. At the end of the day, man, you can't. We gotta remember like these styles.
I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead and the next matchup is very, very interesting. It's going to be two Puerto Ricanos going at it, bro. Okay. Let's get Zone 6 on here. What's going on, Zone?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm just audio check. How do I sound?
You sound good. All right. We're about to start with Cotto versus Trinidad with you, man. How do you see this matchup?
Trinidad by stoppage. Trinidad stood about 5'10", 5'11", good size welterweight. Always been a welterweight. Cotto had some wobble issues coming up from 140. I understand it is 140. But he do get wobbled a lot. I've seen him wobbled against Floyd Mayweather at even a higher weight. And he breaks down. His face start to deteriorate. Those cuts is not going to look good against a come forward type of style like Trinidad. And if you think Margarito, even though I know Margarito got the hand plasters, this would be Margarito's times 20 with no hand plasters and a very polished style.
Man, Gran Campeón. All right. So Gran Campeón Puerto Rico. That's 10 points for Trinidad. Jose, how do you see this matchup, bro?
I like Trinidad. It's a very close matchup because they're both very skillful. But I would just have to say Trinidad just by like a shootout, like a knockout, like in the early rounds. Kind of similar to what he did to Yori Boy.
Yori Boy, okay. Yeah, that was brutal, yeah. Okay. Callie, how do you see it, bro?
Yeah, I agree with that one. I definitely got Trinidad by destruction, bro. I think this ends up being a massacre. And I don't think Cotto makes it out of the first 6 rounds, man. I just don't. I think Trinidad hits too hard. He sets up his punches very well. And I think Cotto is okay defensively, but not good enough defensively. I think this is a massive mismatch. Trinidad, man, by massacre.
Oh, okay. All right. I think Cotto would work the body a lot on Trinidad early in the fight, but I do agree. I mean, at some point, Cotto's going to get clipped, just like he did in the judo fight. And guess what, man? If Cotto hits him low, guess what Trinidad's going to do? He's going to hit you low right there. Yep. You know what I mean?
Hey,
so, yeah.
I was watching
fucking killer.
I was just watching Zab Judah versus Cotto, man, and Judah was having success in the early rounds, and the way Cotto slowed him down was he gave him a few low blows, man, and whatever the referee just gives him time, but that kind of with Judah just wasn't the same after that. He kind of he gave up too mentally, but I was checking out that Cotto, he needed to build his confidence, and he did get in with some good body shots after that, but man, that wasn't cool, man. But
I mean, it happened. But just to finish my take here, I think he would hurt. I do think it's possible, like happened in a lot of Trinidad fights, that Cotto would with a hook or something might drop Trinidad. Trinidad gets up, and I think he finishes Cotto, man. I think his face will look like it went through a meat grinder by round 9, round 10. I do think he stops Cotto. I do think it's a late round stoppage for sure. Either they throw in the towel or he knocks him down and out with a left hook for sure. All right. I don't even think it's necessary, but we're going to do it anyway as tradition calls. So press 1 for Trinidad. Press 2 for Cotto in the chat. I want to know if anybody has Cotto winning in the chat. Give me a reason why, by the way. Tell me why you think. Okay. So San Juan versus Caguas. Who was from, I don't even remember. Who was from San Juan? Was that Trinidad?
No, San Juan, yeah, Trinidad,
right.
yeah.
Caguas, Puerto
And,
Rico is Cotto.
Cotto. Yeah.
And Caguas lo van a cagar. Like, it's over. It's a lot of ones, bro. Nobody got Cotto. No one. No Cotto outs. Man. Like, I knew I was going to pick Trinidad. I didn't think it was going to be this one.
Now, you gotta remember, Trinidad has a lot of respect, man. I don't see too many fights, and when people have done fantasy fights, not too many people pick against Trinidad, man. Trinidad was the truth.
Well, and especially not a welterweight. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
Because let's be honest, like, of all these names, who moves up to middleweight to beat Hopkins? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So we're gonna move on, guys. This is I'm gonna stop the match in the middle. We don't need to finish voting. This is bad. It's a wrap. Well, we're gonna move on. That one was quick. These ones are interesting. Devin Alexander versus Casasu. As I mentioned earlier, yes, Casasu never. What's that noise in the background? Hold up. Jose, I'm gonna have to mute you for now. There's a lot of noise back there, bro. But I'll mute you when I get to you. Alexander versus Casasu. As I mentioned, Casasu, all right, never fought at 147, but I put him on there because the other guy, people had Terry Norris on there, and Terry was not a 147 pounder. Okay. So we put Casasu. He was a king at 140 at one point. So hypothetically, if he moved up, how would Casasu have done against a Devin Alexander 147? Right? Callie, how do you see this matchup?
I think Devin Alexander in his prime, man, beats Casasu. Casasu. I mean, at this point, if he moves up, how old is Casasu though? Too. That's a kind of another thing. Casasu was starting. He looked kind of slow at 140, even though he was really good at 140. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna roll with Devin Alexander, who before recently showed a really good, damn good chin, and in his prime was actually a damn good boxer. Yeah, I'm rolling with Devin Alexander. There's too much unknowns with Casasu. We've also seen Casasu quit against Ricky Hatton too. But then again, he was older, so once it quits, there's a huge caveats in this fight too. I don't know how Casasu's power would translate up to 140, and then, like I said, he wasn't that quick anyway. And then Devin Alexander's shown the ability to beat big punchers already. So I'm going with Devin Alexander, who's a good boxer and in his prime was damn good and actually had a damn good chin.
Okay. All right. Let's go with Jose. Who do you got, bro?
Just going off first instinct. I like Devin Alexander because he's a good boxer, but I'm gonna go with Sue on punching power. Devin Alexander didn't have that much punching power, and so I would say Casasu. Yeah, and then Casasu.
All right, okay. You got Casasu. Zone, how do you see it?
I got Casasu by stoppage. Devin Alexander, he's a pity pat guy. He was in that window where everything was all about, emulating Floyd and got all these guys skipping around the ring, ducking and dodging, running out clock. I think Casasu chases him down and end up catching him with something big, probably late. So I got Casasu by stoppage, late stoppage.
Okay. But, man, I got to go with Sue too, man. Like, a lot of valid points brought up by Callie that we don't know, but I think he would have enough to beat Devin Alexander. Although I like Devin Alexander, I didn't like the way he would always have his mouth open, throwing shots. I think Sue would time that, probably fuck up his jaw, to be honest with you. The Timothy Bradley fight stands out. Pressure breaks pipes, and Devin Alexander did not like someone in his chest. And I think Sue was really, really good at that. I think the footwork of Sue, the pivots. And
remember, he beat Madonna and Matisse. He beat Madonna and Matisse, man. That's what I'm saying. I look at that.
I agree, but however, he beat a Maidana before Robert Garcia, so it's a little different version of Maidana, and then the Matisse fight was only 10 rounds. So right. and it looked like he was getting tired at the end there, Devin Alexander, personally. So I would pick Casasu by decision, though. I don't think he knocks out Devin. Probably, I think it would be close. I think Devin would win about 4 or 5 rounds. He'll put some rounds early. And let's also not mention Katsu sparked Zab Judah, who I believe was faster and far more athletic than Devin Alexander at that point. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to pick Katsu. However, we'll see how the chat sees it.
The question is, though, detail before you go,
yeah,
what year, how old is he when he moves up?
I mean, whenever you want to put him on it, really. I mean,
okay, because that makes a difference. You're talking about prime Kashizu, but it's one of the biggest things though, because some guys punch hard at 140, then they move up to 147, and the punching power is just mediocre, or his punching power could be more. You never know. Maybe he was being held back at 140. I don't know. That's the huge caveat right there. Was punching power carry up? I don't know. So, and that's why I went with Devin Alexander based off who he fought. I understand that. I understand that Madonna wasn't with Robert Garcia yet, but he could still crack. And so could Lucas Matisse, and he beat both them dudes back to back. So, that tells you everything you need to know that the dude was able to do.
It's not Costa-Zoo.
No, he's not. But he's also not as slow as Costa-Zoo either. You know what I mean? So. At the end of the day, yeah, he had skill. It was at 140, but once again, we're still guessing how his power can carry up at 147. We don't know that, because if his power don't carry, you know what I'm saying, then that changes. That does change a lot. So we'll see.
I do agree with that. I could agree with that. Yeah. I just think
we don't need power. We don't need power to beat Devin Alexander, as you can see. It's multiple ways to beat Devin Alexander. That's the problem. Devin Alexander don't have enough heart to combat whatever's working against him. It don't have to be just power. It can be power, timing, speed, footwork, grit, grind. Because we've seen him lose to Timothy Bradley and quit. So it's just not like it's just not one way.
Yeah, but Timothy Bradley I'd pick Timothy Bradley to whoop Kashizu's ass, bro. Timothy Bradley, when he paid attention and listened, was actually just a superior boxer than Devin Alexander, in my opinion, too. And Kashizu, I picked Timothy Bradley over both of them. To be honest with you, man, that's a whole other subject. You know what I'm saying? You talking about a dude. To me, Timothy Bradley, who I don't like him personally for a variety of reasons I'm not going to mention, but dudes went on with his mouth to be an absolute clown. But as far as as a boxer, dude was the truth, man. Underrated, actually. Timothy Bradley, very skilled dude.
Let's do the vote.
D-Style brought up a good point. D-Style, one last point. D-Style said something that I really like. That man, that doesn't work against these fighters in that era. Like stuff like that they use to pick you apart. All that that was more of a that's telegraphing. So I agree with D-Style on that. They're telegraphing all the shit.
All right, so we'll give Kelly one more chance to present your case to the chat before I put it up for a vote.
Oh, you just talking about as far as Devin Alexander? Yeah, I still like Devin Alexander over Kashizu because, like I said, there's too many unknowns. If you could give me some guarantees about Kashizu coming up back then, I mean, then I would probably lean more towards him. But going off the unknowns, I would actually go with Devin Alexander based off the fact that I know how he looked at 147. I know who he beat, and I'm just gonna tell. But if we're gonna talk about the Devin Alexander that went away, that's totally another subject. But yeah, Devin Alexander like a fight, bro. I mean, Devin Alexander is the type of dude who actually had a lot of really good skills. Solid footwork. Yeah, the power wasn't there. That was the one thing missing from him. But the speed was there. The athleticism was there. The ability to counter, the ability to mix up his shots was very good. Now, so I wish he would have went to the body a little bit more. But other than that, he did have some toughness, so to be able to take shots. Let's not try to act like like toughness wasn't there. His stamina was somewhat of an issue, but
right. Well,
no, I'm saying it wasn't there.
I don't get Ricky Hanley, but I seen him quit on the stool. Just saying, bro.
Let's go ahead and put it up for a vote. All right. Give me a 1 for Devin Alexander. and a 2 for Casasu and a Chet. So I could tally these up right now. We're gonna get Big Dog Willie. You're gonna go up next on the next one, bro. Stay put. Stay put right there, Big Dog Willie. I have you on here, bro.
All right.
One and two guys. 1, Devin Alexander. 2, Casasu. Culture, Devin.
You talking to me?
Well, I was talking to the chat, but you can give me your take, bro. Who do you think wins that fight?
Oh, I won't wait too long since I came in late. I got Casasu.
Casasu?
Yep.
In fairness, we're not going to count your 10 points for this one, but
okay, that's cool.
I don't think it's going to matter though, because there's a lot.
Who's winning? Who's winning since I came in late?
Yeah, Casasu. I mean, it's already 30-10. So AJ 10. You know. So yeah, it's some votes for Alexander though. It was close, but a little bit close. But overall, Casasu is going to take this one. Okay, let's go ahead and move to the final one. This one's interesting to me, but Andre Berto. I think everyone's kind of knows Andre Berto, and Obakar. All right, Obakar was one of, in my opinion, I mean, he's kind of overlooked a little bit, kind of like a Buddy McGirt in that era, in the 90s. He lost to guys like Oscar De La Hoya and stuff like that, but he was one of the, top fighters of that era. Okay. And Zone dropped off, but we'll get you back on when you can, Zone. But Obakar versus Andre Berto. How do you see that matchup, Kelly?
Man, I'm going with Obakar, man. I'm sorry, Andre Berto. Even though Andre Berto has serious power, so that's something that you have to be cognizant of. But in my opinion, I think Andre Berto is also a guy who, even though he tried to back then, he was trying to use a shoulder roll a lot and was still getting tagged. And because of that, I think that Andre Berto gets beaten up, man. I think he loses. I think he loses fairly easily, actually, to be honest with you. I'll go Obakar by decision. Obakar by decision.
All right. Obakar by decision, says Kelly. Big Dog Willie, who do you think wins that fight?
I think Obakar does. Just the fact that Andre Berto lost to less competition.
All right.
And that's basically what I'm just. I mean, you can't. I'll be honest with you. Berto can't lose to what's his name? Guy we were talking about last night. We were shitting on. I'm kind of tipsy. What's his name? But our brother knocked him out in the second fight. But what's his name? That Spanish dude that got beat up by Mayweather, or Mayweather hit him after he headbutted him. What's his name?
Oh, Ortiz?
Yeah.
Victor Ortiz?
So, yeah. I can't, yeah. So, yeah. Because Obakar fought better competition. And that's all, that's all I can go off of, be really honest with you.
Okay.
He lost to better competition.
I got you, okay. Jose. Who do you got, bro?
I would have to say that Andre Berto would be the stronger guy in there, but Obakar being from that era, having fought all like De La Hoya and stuff, I would say he would have the skills necessary to weather the storm and win by decision.
You think he would win by the decision? Who do you say, Obakar again?
Yes, I'm just gonna go on the eras, based on the eras.
Okay. I think Obakar fought in a tougher era than Andre Berto overall. I think Berto, I don't think anybody in the chat, without going to Boxer, could tell me who Andre Berto beat for the welterweight championship. You know what I mean? Does anybody know, like, right off the top of their head?
Andre Berto.
I didn't hear what you said, Kali. I didn't hear what you say, D-Style. What you say?
All right. Can you hear me? Am I coming in?
I know. I'm just, I have noise in the background.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, like, who did Berto really beat? You know, when
Nobody.
I really think about it,
Nobody.
you know what I mean? He went on HBO. He was getting $1 million paydays on HBO, really fighting nobody. So
He
I'm
beat
gonna
Ortiz. That's his best fight.
you know, from the
Freddie,
Motor City,
Freddie Hernandez.
Freddie Hernandez. That's a decent win. I
Didn't
do.
he win a belt? Wasn't that the one he won a belt?
Hold up, Jose. Though, hold up. But you know, I think I would have to give it to Obakar. Hernandez, of course. I mean, I do remember Hernandez was protesting that stoppage. You know what I mean? But you know, if I just don't think that's enough to kind of overcome. I got Obakar. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with Obakar. Let's go ahead and put it up for a vote in the chat. Okay, 1 for Berto, 2 for Obakar. And I'm just gonna have to get Obakar, but you could argue Obakar is the top 10 welterweight of the 90s. You know what I mean?
I'll say Obakar's the top 5 welterweight today.
If he was fighting today, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I say that too.
Obakar, I mean, he was just in you know, I know somebody mentioned in the chat his fight with De La Hoya was a lot closer than people give it credit for. De La Hoya wasn't a lot of close fights. You know what I mean? Even though the judges had another.
He was, but I mean, you got to give it. I mean, Oscar also fought a lot of stiff competition too, so it's not. I mean, some of his fights with me is close. If he had some of the resumes that we see going on nowadays, Oscar De La Hoya fought a lot. His resume's great. That's the way
De La Hoya's a good fighter. De La Hoya's a good fighter. Yeah, he's a really good fighter.
Great fighter, man. Outside of the fishnets, bro. If you can look past that part, inside the ring, Oscar's the truth, bro. It's you can say what you want. Only issue. One of the reasons that Oscar De La Hoya wasn't better than what he was, and he's a legendary Hall of Fame fighter, because he'll always abandon his jab, dude. Always. Remember his father, Yoel, used to always complain, like, used to yell at him, and he would get mad and say, And then I remember one day he was interviewed. He said, I don't know why I always abandoned my jab. I felt like he was hurting Shane Mosley with the jab. Remember Shane Mosley in the first fight was complaining about his back. It was because of that fucking stiff jab. And Oscar, he abandoned it. Just abandoned it.
Yeah.
I think Oscar just kind of faded. He fades in the later rounds, and that's what got him a lot. Oscar did, yeah. He faded in the later rounds. I mean, that was his whole career to me.
Yeah, man. Oscar, to me, you know, that's a good point. You know what I mean? He would definitely fade a lot. Well, I kind of
except he did sprint away from Felix Trinidad the last 3 rounds of the fight.
Yeah.
That's why they
But Kelly, that's what I'm talking about. He didn't mix it up when he got to the later rounds. He either ran or he just got super tired.
To me, he was beating Trinidad, man. I know people don't want to hear that. He was with it, and I thought even running the last 3 rounds, and he literally ran the last 3 rounds. People want to know what running is. That was running. I hear people talking about Floyd ran. No. What Oscar did the last 3 rounds against Trinidad, that was running. That dude literally ran away. Him and Junior Witter was the best runner in boxing history, but his style was all about running. but yeah, man, what Oscar did the last 3 rounds against Trinidad, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I said they should give the fight to Trinidad for that bullshit, and they did. I said that's fucked up what they did, but I was happy because even the fans were mad at that shit. Like, dude, you really just fucking ran the last 3 rounds of the fight, really?
Right.
You know what I mean? He was so concerned about getting clipped by Felix Trinidad, he decided to run the last 3 rounds.
He didn't want to get hit at all.
Right. Yeah, he didn't want to get it. I'm getting the brackets ready, guys. While I do that, who did you guys, really quick? Who did Callie? Who did you have winning the Corte fight with De La Hoya? Who do you think won that fight?
I can tell you, going in, I was rooting for Oscar De La Hoya. Now looking at how he is now, I would have wished I would have rooted for Corte. But I remember because my cousin came in from Japan. My cousin had been living in Japan for 30 years. He came in and we watched the fight together. I had Ike Corte barely eking it out. It's a fight that I could have seen go either way. it was really close. I thought it was a really close fight. I thought Oscar De La Hoya did a good job of coming on towards the end of the fight. But yeah, I thought that fight. I thought Corte Razor eked it out. It could, like I said, it could have went another way. I don't think the fight was a robbery. Some people saying a robbery. I disagree. It was that close.
Yeah, it was pretty close. I gave it to De La Hoya because the last round. How did you see it, Big Dog Willie? De La Hoya, Corte? I don't know what happened there, but what about you, Jose? How did you see that fight?
I saw De La Hoya won it, but Corte he was controlling the fight a lot of the middle rounds, but I think De La Hoya just he just waits for that opportunity where he could hurt you and then just could throw flurries on you. That's how I just checked out the Mayorga one. He takes a lot of shots, De La Hoya. He has a good chin though. But yeah, I had De La Hoya winning just by stealing it at the end.
Okay. Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah, like in the end, it kind of that happened. But Big Dog Willie, are you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here.
Who did you have winning that fight, bro?
The Corte De La Hoya.
Yeah.
I had. You know what? I was gonna put. That's a tough one. When I first seen the fight, I was younger, so I thought Corte won, but I watched it probably 3 months ago, and I think De La Hoya kind of eked it out. To be honest with you,
De La Hoya eked it out. Okay, yeah. I always felt the same, man. I think the frustration with people were that De La Hoya always won the close fights. You know what I mean? So when he won that one too, people were just like, "Oh, come on! When is this guy gonna why does he always win the close fights?" So people had a lot of frustration. I think that's what it was. He
won some fights. I think that fight against Whitaker, that pissed a lot of people off.
He lost to Whitaker. Period.
I know he lost to Whitaker, but that pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, it did. But then again, you can almost say that he got the fuck put to him in the Trinidad fight because he lost. I mean, Trinidad lost that fight, man. Trinidad didn't really do that much. Oscar, to me, clearly won that fight, outboxed Trinidad. I thought he was at times outclassing Trinidad. But then when he decided to get on the track and put on his track shoes the last 3 rounds, and that pissed me off. I said they should just give it to Trinidad. Man, I didn't think the judges were actually going to give it to him, but I think the judges really penalized Oscar De La Hoya for running the last 3 rounds. I think if he would have just boxed 2 out of those last 3 rounds, he would have got the decision. But the fact that he ran the last 3 rounds, I think maybe I'm wrong. That's always been my opinion. I don't know what you guys thought about that. Yeah. But in my opinion, I always felt like the judges fucked Oscar De La Hoya for running the last 3 rounds.
Right. Yeah, I think it could be some of that. I rewatched that fight, bro. It's actually kind of close, though. You know what I mean? I don't know. I still had De La Hoya winning, but it was really, really close. But let's go ahead. I have the brackets back up now. Man. Let's see. Let's start off top left. As you guys can see, Tater advance and Bradley. Oh, man, that's a hell of a fight, bro. Okay. Let's start with you, Kelly. Tater versus Bradley.
Oh, man. That's another good fight. Like Timothy Bradley, personally, I think Timothy Bradley is the dude that likes the butter biscuit eating buffoon, but that's a whole other subject. But as far as the boxer, Duke could box, man. But I think Taylor, man, would actually, I think Taylor would hurt Bradley. I think the boxing is, I think Taylor has fought a little bit better. Oh, man, nah. Bradley has a resume, man. God damn, this is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit, man. Man, I'm gonna go with Bradley, bro. I'm gonna pull it upset. I'm gonna go with Bradley, man. I thought Bradley beat Pacquiao twice, actually. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Bradley, bro. I'm gonna go with Bradley over Taylor, bro. So that's an upset. Bradley over Taylor.
Brad is going with the upset. All right, that's 10 points for Timothy Bradley. Big Dog Willie, who do you have, bro?
Taylor.
Oh, just Taylor. Like that.
Yeah. When Bradley got a chin on head, he got a nice big ass head to absorb punches. But Taylor he'll just punches together, man. I got Taylor. And Cali, Pacquiao twice? Come on, Cali, with that one.
Yeah, I'm serious. I had him beating Pacquiao twice, bro. Go back and watch those fights, bro.
I watched the fights, man.
Don't let the crowd. Don't let.
It wasn't the crowd.
Yeah, not the crowd. Don't let the commentators tell you that shit, bro. He beat him. He beat him twice. I don't think he beat him 3 times. You know.
So
yeah, he beat him twice.
You gave him the 3rd fight, right?
Say it again.
You give him what, fights 1 and 2?
Yeah.
No.
I can't do it. No, I don't agree. But hey, I mean, I think the first one was a lot closer than HBO had it. I thought it was really, really close. If somebody gave it to Bradley, I'm not going to argue with them. I personally gave it to Pacquiao, but the 2nd and 3rd fight, I definitely give that to Pacquiao. But when did he do the flip? Was that the 2nd fight? When Bradley did the flip?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think it was the second fight.
Okay. Here's the controversial statement. I think Taylor had faster hands than Pacquiao too. So
I know, I agree with that too. That's not controversial.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I think Taylor had the fastest hands, like top 3 ever, to be honest with you.
Yeah, when Sugar Ray Leonard says that guy had the fastest hands I've ever seen, that says a lot. Okay. Jose, who do you got, bro?
Who would I have on that one? I picked the Taylor, man, but it was hard because Bradley he's one of my favorite fighters, and I would say Taylor was just too fast and good ring. I mean, he pretty much had it all. So I'm just picking Taylor.
Zone, I'm gonna leave you the link. I don't know if you want to try it again, but I'll leave the link up down there. But man, okay. Before I give my vote, just to make it interesting, let's go with the chat. Give me a 1 for Bradley and a 2 for Taylor. 1 Bradley, 2 Taylor. Let's have the chat vote. Let's see how the chat sees this one. It's crazy.
Let me switch. I just want to switch because of Bradley, what I think about him personally, not because of what I think about the fight. I don't like Bradley, and Big Dog Willie know I don't like Bradley, so I'll pick Taylor just because I don't like the dude. I can't stand dude, bro.
A lot of 2s so far. 2, another 2, a lot of 2s, and then members voting 2s as well. So it's making this very lopsided. I'm surprised with you guys. Now this is interesting because they're both like undersized welterweights, which makes this fight very interesting, by the way. But I'm surprised it's not more competitive than this. Okay, AMG voted for Bradley. He ain't scared. All right. Chicano Profit voted for Taylor. It's lopsided. My vote is irrelevant at this point. But you know what? I got Taylor. Right.
Let me tell you about it.
I honestly think it's a war, guys. I think it's a war.
Oh, it is. But Timmy Bradley he said, "What Bob? What you want me to do? What you want me to do, sir? Come on, Bobs, Mister M. Do you want me to clean the mat? I clean that too. Whatever you want, sir. That's it."
Well, as far as the fight goes, I mean, I just think it will be a war. I think, assuming both come to win, I think that this fight would be close. But I just don't think Bradley has enough power to keep Taylor at bay. I think Taylor would let his hands go. He'll feel comfortable letting his hands go. Bradley might catch him with some right hands here and there, but I think Taylor wins a competitive. But I think the other rounds would be competitive. I think it would be a war. I think it would be back and forth. But in a 10-point must system, might be something like 9 rounds to 3 or something like that in favor of Taylor personally. If Chavez couldn't break him down with body shots for 12 rounds, I don't think Bradley could do it either. So, but we're going to Taylor won in lopsided decision. So That's that. Tater advances, guys. Keith Thurman is actually shit. Man, I wanted Zone on here for Keith Thurman, bro. Right? But I don't know where. Let's. I don't know if you want to try one more time, Zone. All right. But he's a Keith Thurman guy, so you know.
Nah, I mean, what was that? I used to have his subscriber on my channel, and he ended up getting blocked. He was Keith Thurman fanatic. I forgot his name. His name was like Lewis or something like that. I forgot his name. But yeah, this dude was a Keith Thurman fanatic.
Oh, check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but let's go ahead and see here. I kind of already know who's going to win, but I might be wrong. So let's go ahead and check this one out. It should be interesting. Okay. Keith Thurman versus Ike Corte.
I'm going Ike Corte, bro. I don't care if anybody says. I'm going Ike Corte.
I'm going Ike Corte too. Yeah, right off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah. Boom, boom, like first round knockout or what? Like, what's going on over here?
Nah, I could see a late round stoppage, but I think it's going to go
Keith Thurman.
You got Keith Thurman, Jose. Tell me why.
Because Keith Thurman is one of the hardest welterweight punchers, and I would say Ike Corte had a strong jab, but I think it would hurt him with his power punches, as we've seen Thurman do several times in his career. So that's why
Thurman fades in the second half of fights, though, bro.
Well, I've seen him get stronger. You know, he goes the distance. He's gone the distance. He
goes the distance. He's a front runner. Remember, Keith Thurman's a front runner, bro. He starts off well early and then fades in the second half.
Let's see.
I would, but the reason I like Thurman is because he's a smart fighter too.
We're all over the place. But go ahead and finish your thought, Jose.
No, I would say Keith Thurman is underrated because he also has he likes to win rounds. He said it himself. He models himself after Mayweather. He's Mayweather's a 7-round fighter, so he likes to steal rounds, and he's a good boxer too.
So he would steal rounds, in your opinion?
He knows how to win rounds. Yes.
Okay. All right. We got Zone here. Zone. Keith Thurman versus Ike Corte. One time versus Bazooka. What do you think?
I got Ike Corte, man. That's not a good matchup for Keith Thurman. Ike Corte. That war with Oscar took Ike Corte to a new level, even though I feel like he kind of wasn't the same after that because it felt like a robbery. But Ike Corte was a monster, man, at 147. I think Keith Thurman is too indecisive on what he wants to do at times in the ring. And then, like my man just said, that 7-round strategy, when he started doing that, he changed into a new fighter. That's not going to work against a guy like Ike Corte and them guys cut from the 90s. So I got Ike Corte by decision.
Ike Corte by decision. All right. Okay. I think Ike Corte, guys, beats Keith Thurman. I think the jab would give Keith Thurman all types of problems. It would keep Keith Thurman on the outside. And I also think the body work of Ike Corte is a little underrated. I think he would work the body as well. And we've seen him in the line of fire. We've seen Ike Corte take a left hook from Oscar De La Hoya, eat it.
I got a point. How about this, though? How about Thurman's ability?
Wait. Don't interrupt me, bro. Okay. But let me just get through my points. All right. I think Ike Corte would win his fight with a jab. He would take the best punches Keith Thurman has to offer. I do not know one punch, and I'll let you respond, Jose, but I don't know one punch that Keith Thurman has in his arsenal that is better than the left hook of Oscar De La Hoya. I do not know of one. Okay?
Thurman has a left hook or that crazy ass left hook. But anyways,
but my
Keith
question
Thurman,
is it better than De La Hoya's?
Doesn't have to be better. He's a hell of a puncher, Keith Thurman. What's that hook he hit Soto Caraz with? Was that the uppercut? But I'm sure I can't remember it, but he has that one good shot where it's like this looping shot. And even Pacquiao said he was one of the hardest punchers he's faced, you know. And how about Keith Thurman's ability to win those fights like a Danny Garcia and Sean Porter? Come on, guys.
Okay, those are good wins. Those are good wins from.
They're hell of a win. They're hella wins. Because remember who they.
Hold on, are those
There's
wins?
no way. There's no way if he fought like them against. He fell out so tough, and there's no way he should have lost to Pacquiao. He fought. It doesn't say he fought Porter and Garcia like he fought and Pacquiao. He fought the same way he fought Pacquiao. There's no way he lost to Pacquiao, and I think Pacquiao right now is overrated.
Let me just add to that. So, in fairness, this is the best versions of themselves at 147, right? So, someone could argue that was not the best Keith Thurman, but it's still a solid point. Let's go ahead and do this. Jose presented his case.
Corte was the gatekeeper. Corte.
No.
A little bit above, man. Like, come on. He's one of the. How come he never got a win against De La Hoya? He should have got one of those wins. Then he should have.
So, Jose, I want to ask a question. Does Keith Thurman beat De La Hoya? You really believe that?
But Corte didn't beat De La Hoya.
No, that's no question. There was no question.
We're talking.
That's all right.
We're talking.
Okay, tell you what. You gave your case for Keith Thurman. It's not over yet. Let's see what the chat thinks.
It's just the eye test.
All right. Okay. So you gave your case. Let's see what the chat thinks. One for Keith Thurman for one time. Wait, one time, press 1. For Corte for Bazooka, press 2. All right. Let's see if the chat or we're gonna need like a lopsided chat for Keith Thurman. It's gonna have to be lopsided, like one-sided. I don't see anybody voting yet. Look, Keith Thurman needs some votes, guys. Keith Thurman needs a vote. Bad. 2. 1 for Chi-Town. Okay, somebody's got Thurman. A lot of members got Ike though. Another 2. We need a miracle for Keith Thurman. 2. Man, well, to tell you what, man, I think you know what's interesting. The Cal Brook Corte was closer. That's interesting, but Keith Thurman's been eliminated, guys. Corte has moved on. We're about to move on to a hell of a fight. You guys see it there in the top right, okay? Errol Spence versus Felix Tito Trinidad. Kelly. How do you see it?
Spence versus Tito Trinidad. Woo!
Yep.
Yeah, but I can't pick Earl, bro. I'm going with Felix Trinidad over this fight, man. Felix Trinidad at 147 was a straight killer. I like Earl. Earl hasn't fought nearly the competition of Felix Trinidad. Felix Trinidad is also very tactical, big thumper. And once again, he would force Earl Spence to stay covered up because Earl Spence doesn't punch with his opponents. Right. I like Felix Trinidad via decision over Earl Spence Jr.
Ooh, okay. So that's 10 points right now for Trinidad right off the bat. Big Dog Willie, how do you see it, bro? Spence versus Felix Trinidad, 147.
There might be a little bias, but Trinidad's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, Trinidad is, man, his power. Spence is nice, but Trinidad's power. Spence. This is the fight. Whoever wins, I'll be honest with you. Who wins this fight is winning this round 2 tournament. So I got Trinidad, basically.
Ooh. Okay, so we got Trinidad right there. Zone, how do you see it? Zone, you there? Let's go with Jose first. Go ahead, Jose. Who do you got winning this one, bro?
Trinidad by KO. Late rounds.
Trinidad wins it. Okay. That's another one for Trinidad. Zone fell off there, looks like. But let's go ahead and take I'm going to go ahead and give it to Trinidad as well. I think it will be tough, man. I think Spence will give him a hell of a fight, but at some point, the hook's going to land. I think it's going to hurt Spence. Of course, it's always something that could change over time. We'll see as Spence continues to grow and add to his legacy. We could always look back and be like, you know what? Maybe we had that one wrong. Maybe Spence does win. But as
he goes and watches like Terrence Crawford or something like that. That may maybe give it a second look.
Right. But as of right now, with the data we have in front of us, and, just with that, you know what I mean? I'm going to have to go with Trinidad, and somebody just said it, a huge welterweight as well. Jeffrey said in the chat, absolutely, I agree with that. So I am picking Trinidad. Give me a 1 for Trinidad and a 2 for Errol Spence. To see if the chat can do something here. And while we do that, let me see if I can get a Zone back on. Zone, you got Spence or Trinidad?
I got Trinidad easy. He stopped him in about 6 rounds. Trinidad is way more skilled than Earl Spence. Earl Spence hasn't done anything skill-wise to let me know that he'll overcome Trinidad's size, power, speed, and punch selection.
Man, it's pretty. I'm surprised how one-sided this is. Christian NWO picked Spence.
I would disagree about the way more skilled though, bro. It's a little overstated, bro. I disagree with that shit.
Well, let's have
I think he's better. I would say way more skilled though, bro.
No, hold on. Well, we can have a brief conversation while they tally it up. Trinidad comes from a tougher, more battle-tested era. When Trinidad came out the gate.
No, I understand, but I said that we talking about skills.
I mean, listen. Only one of us can talk at a time. Go ahead. Finish what you're gonna say.
No, I'll just say you said skills, bro. I didn't have nothing to say about what I'm coming about. I agree, it comes from a tougher era. I'm just saying you said way more skilled. I said that's why I disagree.
Right, and what I'm telling you is how do I come to that conclusion? Is that if a guy is in a competitive space where the talent is far superior than the space than a other, then he's better skill set because he's displayed it. Even though we're using fantasy, in reality, we have seen Trinidad display better skill sets than Earl Spence. Trinidad might be one of the greatest welterweights of all time outside of Henry Armstrong. And that's skill set too. That man undefeated at welterweight. Earl Spence ain't done nothing yet. We still trying to get the Terrence Crawford fight. Come on now.
We are still trying to get the Terrence Crawford fight. But once again, bro, I said that doesn't make you more skilled. Far more skilled.
Why wouldn't it make
you
doesn't.
More skilled? Just because you come from an era doesn't make you more skilled. There's guys you could be. Just because you come from a tougher era doesn't mean that he's far more skilled. I think he's more. You could say he's more skilled, but I don't think he's far more skilled. You saying like far more skilled?
Okay, hold on.
I just completely disagree with that, bro. Earl Spence just fought Sean Porter too, bro. He just beat Sean Porter. It's not far more skilled, bro.
Hold on, you just said something. You just said that you might be right about him being more skilled, but you have a problem with.
No, you said far more.
Hold on, no. Hold on, relax. You agree with the fact that he's more skilled than Earl Spence, correct? Because you just said it. Live in HD.
Far more. I mean, more skilled. I'm not sure. That could be even. That could be close. I don't know.
I'm just asking you one question. You just said it. I'm asking you.
Let's just settle it right. It's really simple. There's a disagreement on the how much more skilled, or if they're equally skilled. Like maybe there's not enough.
D-style.
Okay,
he just said it. D-style. He just said it. Don't help him out. I'm just trying to get clarity on it because we just heard you.
I'm not helping anybody. I was trying to move on.
With Sean Porter and with Mike Garcia, I don't know that yet.
You're disagreeing with me because you think that I'm saying is a big gap. I need to know. Do you think
I'm not sure about that yet.
Okay, you're not sure. Then just say if you're not sure, then how can you do? If you're not sure, you're not sure. Don't get on me because I'm sure. Come on now.
All right. Well, let's. I mean, nobody's really sure, but
No, what I'm saying, I'm sure in my opinion. I don't know it's fantasy, but I'm sure in what I'm saying.
But let's go ahead and proceed here. It's even with the chat. It's definitely a win for Trinidad. Either way, so Trinidad just does move on. Okay, so Trinidad has advanced. Let's go ahead and go to Costa Sioux versus Zobakar. This one's very interesting to me. I have no idea how everyone's going to go about this. Let's start with Cali. Who do you have winning this fight, bro? Kelly, you're muted. All right, let's go ahead and we'll come back to you, Kelly. Big Dog Willie. Who do you think wins this fight, bro?
I got shit. I want to say Card, but Sasha Zoo. Sorry. That's a tough matchup.
Okay, so you think Costa Sioux
Base Card, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna pick Costa Sioux?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just because he kind of that fight was I think that I know you guys get on what's his name, but I think Zab Judah is a better fighter than Carr. And I think Sasha Zoo kind of gave him one, even though the referee didn't let him finish the fight. But I think Sasha Zoo would won that fight out against Zab Judah. So I guess I'm going just Zab. I mean, with Sasha Zoo just because of that fight.
Okay.
So that's all I can do.
All right. Okay. Kelly, you there?
Yeah, I'm going with Carr, man. Once again, like I said, I've seen Carr fight at 147. I've seen him fight stiff competition at 147. I understand what Zoo did at 140, but it's a guessing what he would do at 147. Some guys move up 7 pounds and they fall completely apart. I don't know, man. There's not enough data for me to once again roll with Kasha Zoo. I understand this fantasy stuff, but I know what Carr did at 147. I don't know what Zoo would do. Okay. So I'm gonna roll with Carr for that.
All right. Okay. Jose, who do you got, man? I Corte. I'm sorry. What am I talking about? Carr, Obakar, or Katsu?
Well, from what I knew from Obakar, I know he was good and he fought in that area, in the good era. But I think Katsu was a little bit more of he was a monster actually. So I kind of favor Katsu on that one.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna go. Well, first of all, Zone. Who do you got? Carr or Sue?
I gotta agree with some of my guys, my fellas on here, man. It's getting to a point now where I don't have enough data, and I know it's fantasy, but I can't even fantasize off something that I ain't never seen. Ubakar is a skilled fighter. I got Ubakar by decision.
Interesting. Okay, we got it a tie so far. Before I give my vote, let's see what the chat thinks. Right? Press 1 for Costa Sioux and 2 Obakar. This is a close one, so make sure and give us your thoughts. Why are you picking the guy you're picking? I know it's tough, but man, I honestly think this will be a war, bro. Or I don't know, it will be like a fight of the year war, but I think it would be a very, very close fight. I would have to go with Obakar. If there's a fight that's going to make a difference, like the weight's going to make the difference, 147 is going to make the difference. I think a guy who I consider a top 10 welterweight of the 90s, Obakar, would have enough to edge it out against Costa Sioux. So I'm going to have to go with Obakar, believe it or not, even though I'm high on Costa Sioux, but in this particular case, I'm going to have to side with Obakar just slightly. Okay, we got some votes here. I'm tallying them up right now.
Hold on.
All right, let's see here. I thought Big Dog Willie was telling me to hold on. Did you have some thoughts, Big Dog, or just caught up?
Yeah, make sure, let him get it. Yeah, he might have something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So don't interrupt the man when he's talking boxing. Yeah, but it's one-sided, guys. By the way, Yeah, AJ10 just said it. A car, it was actually competitive at a 147 era. Car had better movement and had fights against top welterweights and stuff like that. So it was close with the panel, but the chat pretty much made it one-sided for the most part. So we're going to have to move on, guys. Oba Car does advance. All right. While I get this ready here, assuming Cal Brook would have somehow pulled it off against I Corte, who would you guys have picked? Would you have picked Thurman or Cal Brook? A zone, who do you have picked?
Thurman.
Thurman.
Yeah, Thurman.
Okay. What about you, Kelly?
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. But I would have liked, well, one thing. I'm gonna go with Thurman because his ability to move around the ring, to hit and to stick and move. And you think about it, it just Kell Brook does better against guys who want to muscle up on the inside against him. I like the movement of Keith Thurman. And you know what I mean? Yeah.
I like that breakdown. I agree with that. That's facts.
Okay, all right. What about the chat? Give me a 1 and you would have picked Thurman. Give me a 2, you would have picked Cal Brook. Now, what I want to ask the panel is, why was the Cal Brook one a lot closer than the Thurman one? Just a style matchup or what?
What'd you say? Say it again, D-Style?
Well, the Cal Brook versus I Corte was closer in points than the Thurman fight.
Oh, because he broke it down good. He said the foot movement of Thurman, against Brook. And he said Brook does well against guys that like to muscle up on him. And I think that's what makes it close with Brook and Corte.
Okay. All right, I got the thing ready here. Let me just pull this up really quick. I think we have a really, really good final here. But let's see if I could share the screen. Give me a second.
Hey, D-Style, real quick.
Yes.
I'm going to have to go. My girlfriend wanted to hang out for a minute, so
okay.
I'm going to have to go. I can't turn this down. So
So Big Dog Willie, you're a Seahawks fan, right? You a Seahawks fan?
Yeah. I'm from Seattle, man. So
I know. It don't matter, man. I have a friend who's from Seattle, man, and he's actually a Raider fan. So,
okay.
Man,
Big Dog, before you go, Big Dog, just give me your picks for Tater, Ike, and Trinidad Carr, real quick.
Okay, so I got Ike against Taylor, just because I think Ike's a little bit more physical and has more of a all around fighting. I think he adjusted Taylor. And then Trinidad against Carr, that's easy. I got Trinidad over Carr. And then for the finals, I got Trinidad.
All right.
Trinidad all out.
Okay. All right. Well, all right, bro. No problem, man.
I'm sorry, but girlfriend's calling me, and I have to,
No, you gotta go. She got that power of that thing.
All right, man. All right.
You gotta go, bro. You can't be like, nah. I wanna chill out.
No, he don't want that thing cut off. He don't want access to that.
Sure don't. All right, peace, fellas.
Right, let's talk about this one, guys. Meldrick Taylor against I Corte. How do you see this one, Kelly?
This is another good one right here. Now, this right here, I'm going to go with Taylor, man. I think Taylor's movement, the ability to stick to the outside and provide multitude of angles against Ike Corte. I actually think that, from a stylistic standpoint, I think that Ike Corte would get beat solidly, to be honest with you. Maybe like 9 rounds to 3, 8 rounds to 4. 12 rounds. Yeah, all right. It's a stylistic matchup. Yep.
All right, Jose, how do you see it?
I see Taylor winning. He's just I think a step above, elite, and Cortez being glorified gatekeeper.
Wow, man. Zone, how do you see it?
Man, I got Ike Corte. I think strength-wise, he'll break Taylor down and end up stopping him at the 147-pound limit. Got Ike Corte by stoppage.
All right. I agree. I think I'm going to have to go with Ike Corte, guys. Although I could see a fight where Malcolm Taylor is outboxing Corte for the first 4 or 5 rounds, and it's kind of looking like it's going to be a rout. Although the jab is going to be landing from Corte here and there. But I just think that as soon as Corte lands flush, which will happen at some point, and Taylor liked to scrap it up maybe a little too much for his own good, Corte at some point would land something and break him down with the jab and some body work. And Curtis, if you want to come on, bro, you could still come on if you like, for sure. But I'll send Kurt Anderson a link. But if I'm gonna have to go with Corte, it's gonna be close. But I think Corte like stops him late, like 11th, 12th round, with like Taylor's ahead on the cards, but Corte stops him late, if that makes sense.
You thinking it's similar to the Julio Cesar Chavez fight?
A little bit, because I think Corte would win a few more rounds than Chavez. I think the jab would give Taylor a lot of problems. I don't think Taylor would be landing as many combinations on Corte. I don't think he would really hurt Corte.
Taylor does fade late in fights. That's one of the dangerous parts of it.
Yeah. So so far we have it tied. I would love Curtis to come on if he wants to give us a kind
of please. Hey, that we definitely want the boxing historian, the legend Curtis Anderson to come on, man.
Yeah. Now so far we have it tied so far, so it's clean slate because of this. Chicano Prophet with that super chat. I appreciate it. All right, it's a super sticker. 999. I appreciate the support, bro. Let me see what the sticker has. Well, what is it? StreamYard doesn't let me see it. So someone's flying. All right, man. I appreciate the support, Chicano Prophet. All right. What is that? Like a potato flying or something? What's going on over here? I'm still gonna get Curtis Anderson's opinions on a lot of these fights, by the way, when he comes on. But chat. Okay, what's up, Diageo? Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
I was wanted to say, saying you got to do this for like 135 and 160 as well.
We'll definitely do it. Yeah. If you guys have time, I might do like a draft for 135 and stuff.
Okay, I got time.
It's a super pair. Is that what it is? It could be whatever it wants. It gave me $9.99. You know what I mean? So it's all good. I got Taylor winning, but if I'm sorry, Ike Corte winning. If Taylor could survive till the end, he'll win it because I think he'll put enough rounds in the bank. But I think Corte will stop him, bro, late. Zone, I want to ask you: do you think Corte just dominates him, or you think it's close?
Who you talking about, me? Are you talking about me?
Well, I asked Zone because he picked Corte. I just want to know how he kind of, if he sees that as a one-sided fight or a little closer. That's all right. We'll move on. He gave his thing. Chat, give me a 1 for Taylor. It's in your hands right now. Give me a 1 for Taylor and a 2 for Ike Corte. The chat's going to basically decide the winner of this fight, Kelly. It's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of it depends on Taylor's stamina. But yeah, Taylor had a little bit too much dog in him at times. But there's a lot that goes on. It's a fight. It's a lot of ifs. Taylor could easily win this fight, to me, fairly easily, or he can get caught up in a dog fight. It can go either way.
Yeah, but when or not.
You got
a
question? You got a question? Okay. So I think he'll kind of dominate. I think it's like what you said. I can see Taylor kind of, scraping by, 1 or 2 rounds in the first half of the fight, getting them on points. But like you said, man, Ike Corte gonna keep him honest with the jab and then just run down on him and eventually probably stop him. I don't see Ike Corte. I don't see Taylor being able to survive the whole fight and duck and dodge Ike Corte. Ike Corte is a good, solid boxer, man.
Yeah, makes sense. I got you. Tallying up here. If anybody in the panel wants to give a case for their guy, go ahead.
Yeah, man, I give me a Ike Cortez with hurting Oscar, man. That tell you something right there too. Oscar got a solid chin, but and he was hurting Oscar, so there is some power behind Ike Cortez, man. Has power, has real power, but I still gonna ride with Taylor, man. I do think that I understand if people the Chavez fight, man, where he just faded towards the end. I thought the body work that Chavez put in started to break him down. Um, but if Taylor can remain on the outside and do a good job, or be better defensively, be more defensively responsible, I think he can get out of this fight with a victory fairly easily. But it's all predicated on, for me, Taylor's ability to focus the entire fight.
Taylor was an Olympian.
See, that's why I picked
exactly.
That's why I picked Cortez, because Taylor got a little bit of Timothy Bradley in him, man. He wants to get his lick back, and that's why I'm saying it seems possible that Cortez will be able to stop him. So I can see Taylor, putting them hands on him, but I can see him not being able to do that for 12 rounds. I would see him at some point, at some time, trying to respond to a stiff jab and get into a firefight with Ike Cortez. That's just, I don't think Taylor got the discipline to go 12 rounds like that.
He did it against Chavez, though.
Yeah, but Cortez will be a bigger version than
You're right about that. But
you know what I'm saying? Not saying they're the same person, iconically, but Ike Cortez will be bigger and he could do the same damage.
But the only thing I favor Taylor with is like the tempo. I don't think Cortez had that tempo like in the speed. He could go 12. Taylor could go 12 rounds.
But that's why he used the jab.
Afro Rican said it would look like Taylor versus Norris, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and I just want to remind the chat: it's 1 for Taylor, 2 for Ike.
Can I just say something, Disto?
Really quick. So go ahead.
Okay, I think there were 2 versions of Taylor. Obviously, the one with Chavez after Chavez the fight when he had that damage. I think he was on the decline, Taylor. So you can't judge him because the Norris fight was after Chavez, and so I mean
I got you. Okay, that's a fair point, and we kind of all know that, right?
And can we say that Cortez does not have the hand speed of Terry Norris or the athleticism of Terry Norris. It's not trying to act like that's the same. It's not.
Yeah, but it's somewhere in between. Norris and Chavez. That's what I think people are saying.
Well, let's go ahead and get Curtis Anderson on here. What's going on, Curtis?
Hey, D-Style, man. What's going on with you, man? Cali Enigma. What's up, chat and panel? What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on, bro? We're tallying up the thing. It's close here with Ike Cortez and Meldrick Taylor. Hypothetically, they would have fought at a 147-pound limit at their best. How would you see that fight?
Well, I was never big Ike Cortez. He had a shotgun jab, but he pushes the rest of his punches. When you study him, sort of like Richard Comey, he gave De La Hoya a good fight because he caught De La Hoya. He threw a jab and he hooked off the jab, but I seen him get knocked down, and almost out against a guy who was a better fighter than him by the name of Jose Luis Lopez. That was my guy.
Lopez.
Yep, that was my guy from Durango, California. But I was never big on Cortez because he only had one punch. He struggled against Overcar in the second half of that fight. He was like kind of stunned in that fight multiple times, but Overcar ran out of rounds. Mildred Taylor, fast hands, good boxer, could have been a lot better. I blame Lou Duva because they tried to turn him into, an aggressive fighter. He didn't need to be when you have natural physical attributes, because people thought that he was going to have a better career than Whitaker. And I said, no, Whitaker IQ is like really high and Taylor's wasn't. He had that Philadelphia Warriors mentality, but didn't have the punch or the chin to back it up like Matthew Saad Muhammad and Bobby Boogaloo Watts and Willie Monroe. They was tough Philly fighters, Hopkins and all those guys. But, if he would have boxed and stayed away from Chavez, that even though he was brilliant, that fight he had nothing to show for it, and he was never the same because he was in the hospital. Chavez broke up bones in his face, so and then he fought another puncher. Was it Crisanto Espana? He got knocked out. That's when he had on the black leather trunks. He got bludgeoned by Terry Norris. Then he fought another hard-hitting Mexican fighter after he lost, and they calling it a tune-up, and it wasn't. It was a guy by the name of Primo Ramos who had a terrific left hook from Mexico. So they was putting him in with tough competition, but both fighters flawed. I'm going to say Corte because of the jab, because Taylor wasn't a big 147-pounder. So I'm not big on both fighters, but I give the edge to Ike Corte.
And that, with everything I'm tallying it up here, Ike Corte will edge it out against Maldrick Taylor. I want to ask you about some of these other matchups, Curtis, see which ones you agree with that you could see on there. One was, let's see where I can find it here. Timothy Bradley against Maldrick Taylor. Who would you have had win that fight?
Both guys would get hit. That would be an exciting fight. Oh man, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. I'll get an edge to Mildred Taylor because Mildred Taylor, his best night when he beat Buddy McGirt. Okay. I'm not going to go too long because I don't want to hold up the stream, but I would say Mildred Taylor.
One more I wanted to ask you about. It was by far the closest one we had. Was Spence versus Forrest. Me and Cowley said Forrest. We were overruled by the chat included. Spence versus Forrest. Who would you have picked?
Oh, you didn't give me that one, D-Style. I didn't know y'all. Whoa, that's how Spence got there. Oh, God.
I would, that's a good fight. But Vernon Forrest bringing his A game, and we're doing a fantasy matchup in their prime. Forrest beats Spence. That's a good fight. But I like Vernon Forrest in that fight. I like the long jab, the range of Forrest and the boxing ability because I seen him up close at the Garden, man. And he was like, he was just inconsistent. He'll beat Shane and then lose to Mayorga. He shouldn't have. I could never understand that, but that's boxing. But he was an inconsistent fighter, but his A game, he'll beat Spence.
Okay. Man, I agree. But Spence got where he got, man. And now we are at Trinidad versus Carr. That's where we're going now. All right. So let's go ahead and check that one out. I'm going to have to mute you there, Jose, because you're making some background noise, bro. Okay. I'll get to you right now. Let's take a look here. Trinidad versus Carr.
I got Trinidad by KO, bro.
they fought on.
Go ahead.
They fought.
Yeah.
But Trinidad too much, man. He knocks over Carr to smithereens, man. Even though Carr dropped Trinidad in that fight, Trinidad got a habit of going down because he had one flaw, but you have to be an excellent boxer to expose it. All his weight was on his front foot. That's why he was getting hit with the jab, a winky right. But Trinidad was my man. He was a killer, terrific puncher, great offensive fighter. He knocked Carr out in about 6 rounds.
Yep, that's where I'm at, man. I'm right there. With the same.
I do agree with that. I don't think. Let's say, what was it, like 93 or so that the fight happened? 94? When was the fight?
About 95, I believe. I'm just guessing. Because I kind of forgot.
I don't think there's a point ever in Obakar's career, even if he got a little, where he could have beaten Trinidad, in my opinion.
No.
So,
I agree. No. Never.
What about you, Jose? I think I heard Zone said never. So
I got Trinidad.
Trinidad, okay. Jose, who do you got? Oh shit, hold up, my bad. Jose, who do you got?
Yeah, same here with everybody. I agree with everybody. Same here.
All right, just curious. Chat, 1 for Trinidad, 2 for Obakar.
Oberkar's never beaten Trinidad. Never. Not a good matchup for Oberkar.
Yeah. Just while the chat votes there, out of curiosity, what do you think of Kazasu Carr? It was close, but in the end, Carr advanced. How would you have voted that fight, Curtis?
Oberkar and Kastazu?
Yeah. I think the overall consensus was Wazoo never fought at 147, and Carr did. So because of that, they kind of gave it to Carr.
I would probably take Carr, but I'm not comfortable with my pick. But something's telling me Carr will win because Kastazu can be outboxed like Vince Phillips, outbox him and knock him out. And Kastazu is a quitter. He quit against Ricky Hatton, and I don't got no respect for quitters on the stool to give up your title. So I would say Oberkar.
Ooh.
But then I remember I said that earlier. I said he has a propensity to quit. Then I stated that he quit against Ricky Hatton. I told you guys earlier the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't think it. In the fights we picked, I just don't know. Like I don't think Oberkar would have made him quit. Like, you know what I mean? Where did Kelly go? There he is. But we'll see. It's obviously a lopsided. Who put 2? All right, Christian Bill was kidding. Okay, so obviously Trinidad advanced, and Corte advanced. Holy shit! So interesting. Kelly.
What Trinidad, man? Trinidad destroys Corte, man.
You're confident about that?
Yeah, I'm definite about that. Corte at times would leave his chin hanging right up there on the center line. He'll square up at times. He also remember it. I think he got caught with the left hook, but he squared right up in front of Oscar De La Hoya as well. But he tends to leave his chin hanging out there. That's kind of one of the fundamental flaws that he has. I think also can be from Ghana at times, even though Ghana in the past is known for having good fighters. He was one of them. But yeah, that flaw right there gets you iced by Felix Trinidad. I think Felix Trinidad within 5 rounds, man.
Trinidad in 5. All right. Zone, how do you see it? We'll go back to zone. Jose, how do you see it?
Trinidad Oberkar?
No. Trinidad versus Ike Corte.
Oh, it would be a good fight, like a explosive fight. I would go with Trinidad by KO, and like round 6.
Okay. All right. Curtis, how do you see it? Cannot hear Curtis. You're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Damn, I'm steady talking. Tito obliterates Ike Corte in 4 rounds. Left hook. Ike Corte is open for many punches. Leaves his head on the line, like he did against Lopez. When Lopez dropped him twice in the 12th round to get a draw. Tito in 4.
Tito in 4. Man. Interesting. All right. And EJ just on time, bro. Ike Corte versus Felix Trinidad. You there, EJ?
Yeah, of course. Ready to go. You hear me?
I could hear you now.
All right, cool. Ike Corte versus Felix Trinidad, yeah?
Yeah. How do you see that matchup?
All right. Oh, that's a great matchup, man. Trinidad, he's got that left hook, exciting, likes to put pressure on those fighters. Ike Corte establishing his jab, warming up. I see a great fight. I see Trinidad getting hurt a couple of times, but ultimately, I have Trinidad coming through and winning the fight. I don't think by stoppage though, but I think he does a good job of putting Corday down a couple of times. If De La Hoya could put him down, Trinidad definitely can put him down a couple of times, but he'll get back on fight by unanimous decision. Felix Trinidad.
Okay. And zone, how do you see it?
I got Trinidad. I think I wish we could have got this fight, man, back in our day. But I see it being actually a classic. I see it being similar to the Oscar De La Hoya fight, because like we established, Trinidad will go down early, but I believe that he'll start putting Ike Cortez down later. So I think it would have been a classic. I think we would have had Trinidad by either a late round TKO stoppage, or it would have made it to the cards, and I would have had them by split decision.
Okay. Like here's my caveat for you guys, because I feel like, Cortez and Jeffrey just put it. I gave Oscar a much better fight, though. I mean, it doesn't always work that way. I get that completely, but I feel like Cortez being a little undervalued here. But with that said, I still think Trinidad would win. So
I pick real quick D-style.
Yeah.
I'm picking because that style would not work against Trinidad. You have to box him. Like Bernard had to change his whole style. He moved. He confused Trinidad. Roy Jones, those are movers. Winky Wright was a master boxer with a ramrod jab. So you had to have a high IQ because he was such an aggressive offensive fighter. Cortez would stand right there in front of Trinidad, and that's murder.
And square up right there in front of him. You can't look past stuff like that. And that's tailor made for Felix Trinidad, man. That's why I had him going in the 5th. I could definitely see him going earlier than that. When you square up right in front of Felix Trinidad, man, you destined to go to sleep. It's like you asking him for NyQuil, and that's what it seemed like for me in that fight. I just think, even though it's a beautiful fight on paper, but if you look at it from a stylistic standpoint, man, I just believe that he's tailor made for Trinidad, dude.
Fair enough. Chat, give me a 1 for Ike Cortez. Give me a 2 for Trinidad. Dude, Trinidad routed through this whole thing, bro. It's amazing. It wasn't even close in any of the Trinidad fights. So that's something. That's something.
Man, you ain't gonna be beat Trinidad unless you throw Sugar Ray Robinson out there or Henry Armstrong.
Well, we're getting ready for the final. So
yeah, right. Sweet pea on the other side, right?
Yeah, but don't do any quick spoilers, guys. Hold your picks for now, okay?
No.
Yeah, but this is the final. For those that don't know, Sweet Pea went all the way to the won the first bracket, and the second bracket was won by Trinidad. Okay, so we are going to go ahead.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Let me ask everybody a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got one. Prime Trinidad at 154 versus James Toney.
Ooh.
At 154?
At 154.
I got.
That's a tough one. To be honest.
No, I like James Toney by cakewalk. Trinidad can't beat that type of style. Hopkins, and they go look at Trinidad's record, how he obliterated his whole, his career, how he just blew past, De La Hoya is a boxer. He had problems with him. Hopkins is on the wall. He had problems with him, got knocked out. Winky Wright, he lost 11 rounds, maybe 12. Roy Jones fought with him, got knocked down a couple of times, wasn't in the fight. James Toney will be a nightmare for Trinidad. Like guys like Mike McCollum and James Toney, guys who are considered cute fighters because of their moves and the footwork and the counter punching. Trinidad can't beat fighters like that. So
he's different.
Well, let's do this. We're about to do the final of the whole tournament, so let's go ahead and get back to the final here. So we kind of get this one sorted out. Okay, the final is Whitaker at his best at 140. I understand they already fought. The question is, you want to ask yourself, was that Whitaker at his best, right? So Whitaker at his best at 147 pounds versus Trinidad at his best at 147 pounds. No one jump in. I'll go to you guys when it's your turn. Chat, hold on to your votes as well. All right. I will let you know when you know. But if you want to give arguments, just go ahead and start them in the chat now. All right. Jose, I'm going to start with you, bro. Tell me who you think wins this fight. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
What?
Which one? I'm sorry. I was distracted a little bit on the fight right now.
The final. Whitaker versus Trinidad. Who do you got winning?
I got Trinidad by KO late round 10.
Trinidad by KO.
Round 10. I want next.
Okay, but he didn't even knock him out like when they did fight.
Yeah.
Oh, Trinidad and Whitaker fight?
Yeah, Prime Whitaker.
The image.
Oh shit! I gotta watch that fight. Good looking out.
Well, you gave your vote, so Zone. Who do you got?
Wow. Okay. I got Trinidad. I saw the fight, so I don't. It's hard to take that out of your head. Even if I make Pernell primer, I don't see nothing different changing. I like it. I like the Trinidad.
Interesting. Okay, Callie, go ahead.
Sure.
Man, I got Whitaker, man. Y'all tripping. Prime Whitaker, that wasn't Prime Whitaker when they fought. Prime Whitaker outclassed Prime Whitaker.
You cut off there for a second, Kelly.
Prime Whitaker. I'm not talking about the one with in and out of the ring and having the issues out of the ring issues. We're talking about Prime Whitaker focused, ready to go versus Prime Trinidad. The ability to slip shots, counter, work the body, and still make Trinidad miss. It's a different dude, bro. It's a completely different guy than you saw from the first fight. That wasn't Prime Whitaker, not at all.
Okay. All right. Let's go with EJ Boxing Live. Who do you got, bro?
Oh, it's a great matchup, man. Yeah, like most people, I get some feedback in the background. I don't know who's making some noise in the back. I need to mute. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Cool. Hey, yeah. So yeah, most people say they've seen it already, but they didn't see Prime Whitaker against Felix Trinidad. Prime Felix Trinidad. Everyone knows Felix Trinidad is a devastating puncher. If he can catch you, absolutely. But he always had problems with boxer, and Prime Whitaker was the ultimate boxer. Southpaw, and you saw him have trouble. I know you saw Felix had later on trouble with Ronald Winker. It was a southpaw. It's just man. It's just Trinidad. Sorry, Prime Whitaker, man. Unanimous decision against Felix Trinidad. He just befuddled him, make him. He'll just do what he wants. Body shots, move. It's just I don't see how. You saw the old Trinidad was struggling, but the Prime Trinidad, Prime against the Prime Whitaker. I got Sweepy winning that fight by unanimous decision, bro. Great fight though, man. A tribute to Prime Whitaker getting to the finals, how he should be and be respected, not the draw against Chavez that he should have won. So in this one, we're gonna get it right. Prime Whitaker, Sweepy winning this.
Okay, you got Whitaker winning. Okay, man, it's getting interesting. And I think Curtis Anderson. How do you see this one? Both at their best at 147.
Well, Trinidad could give Whitaker problems with his jab, but because even though Whitaker was a defensive wizard and special fighter, sometimes he had mental lapses. He'd get knocked down, like against Del Ballas Hurtado when he had to come back and win by knockout. But Whitaker in his prime, man, too much. Trinidad had problems with boxers. He wouldn't be able to solve that Whitaker puzzle. He'll have his moments, but I like Pernell by competitive, but, unanimous decision. Whitaker over Trinidad.
Okay. Man, this one's tough for me, but, I know a lot of people say that the Trinidad Whitaker fight was, pretty clear for Tito, and I do feel it was a clear win. I still saw enough in that fight, personally, right, for me to say that, like AJ 10 said in the chat, that 1/10, of reflexes that was missing. If I just don't, I don't see how Trinidad can have more success against a Whitaker that's reflexes are better, closer to his prime, or in his prime in this case at 147. Anyway, I think Whitaker takes it. Personally, it's who I pick. That's where my points are going. And now it's time for the chat to vote. All right. Before we vote for the chat, however, does anyone else want to give a case for their guy? We're good? Straight? All right. All right, chat. We're going to vote now. Press 1 for Whitaker and 2 for Trinidad. Jeffrey said D-style. I don't know what that means, but he said my name. One Whitaker, 2 Trinidad. This is the final of this welterweight fantasy tournament. Jeffrey says he agrees with me, but prime for prime, that fight's nasty. Yeah, it is a great fight. Afro-Rican G picked Trinidad, but he's a Rican, so I don't know. Chicano Prophet, all right. Some vulture Trinidad. I mean, the chat's kind of a little bit split there, but it's not enough to make up for the difference. So the winner of the tournament is Pernell Whitaker. All right. Now here's what I want to ask you guys in the panel. Whitaker eliminated Mayweather, right? When we had the panel yesterday. If it was
whoa. I wasn't there.
I wasn't there either.
They had Pernell beating Floyd?
Yeah.
They had Pernell eliminated Floyd. Yeah.
Tell him why, Kurt. Tell him why.
Mayweather, like I said, they sparred when Mayweather was 16. He was giving Pernell work then. As special as Pernell was, I just think Mayweather was a better fighter, man. This man, look who he fought. This man never been off his feet. Well, he scraped his glove when he broke his hand against Carlos Hernandez, and his abjutor, his glove hit the canvas. So, but, I just think that Mayweather was a better fighter. But I like these fantasy matchups because the majority vote wins, and Pernell eliminates Floyd. So, go ahead, D-Style.
Yeah, well, what I wanted to ask was, how would you guys have voted for Mayweather Trinidad if Mayweather would have won?
I'll say Mayweather because that ring IQ.
Yep, Mayweather would have picked Trinidad apart. He would have figured a way out. Let's say if Trinidad had a little bit early success, Mayweather would have adapted probably within 3 rounds, and then would have ended up being a rout. His style. He would have countered. He would have forced Trinidad to put his gloves in his pocket, man. He would have frustrated the hell out of Felix Trinidad, man. He would have ended up whooping him really bad. And it's just people. I mean, there's a reason why dudes don't just let the hands go against Floyd either. Floyd punches hard. This is something that's been stated by Shane Mosley. People are mad at people are mad at Cinnamon because he didn't let his hands go. But at Canelo, look, man, those punches hurt. Floyd was tagging the shit out of Canelo. Canelo wasn't just letting his hands go because them punches hurt. And it's I believe Shane Mosley when he said, man, that dude hit hard, bro. That's why people ain't sitting there letting their hands go. You notice no one that just runs through Floyd for a reason, not just for defensive reasons. It's also because Floyd has respectable enough power where you don't feel like you just want to let your hands go. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why too that Floyd was effective. He hit hard enough to get your respect and then not let you go crazy. Where the point where fighters weren't willing to just run, just go through hell in order to beat him because that shit hurt real bad. I mean, at least it hurt bad enough. And Floyd also made proper adjustments within the ring. Whatever, if you were faster than him, he'll come to you. If he's faster than you, he wants you to come to him. He can make you miss, and sometimes he'll walk you down. He'll give you a multitude of looks. And then what most people, these funny thing is all these fighters use a shoulder roll now. Floyd only used a shoulder roll with a setup offense. That's when he found a hole in your game, and that's when he would start to use a shoulder roll as a way to counter you. He didn't just use it as his primary defense. A lot of times he'll come with the high guard. He would have used a multitude of different styles of defense in order to beat you. He'll pick your punches off with his gloves. Floyd had a diversified defense. So yeah, I think Floyd beats Trinidad easily, man.
And to piggyback off that, certain fighters, man, not a lot of them in boxing history have an intangible, and that intangible is they just know how to win. And Floyd many times said, "I'm not the fastest, I'm not the biggest, I don't hit the hardest, but at the end of the day, I'll win." He truly believes that he has the intangibles. Muhammad Ali had it, Sugar Ray Leonard had it, and Floyd Mayweather has it, where they just know how to win. That's something that you can't teach. Floyd is the master at neutralizing, his opponent, and he would have done that.
What I want to ask you guys, is there anyone in this tournament that you saw that you feel would have given Floyd the best fight or beaten Floyd?
Well, let me get a piece on that. First of all, okay. I believe that Trinidad would watch Floyd Mayweather. This notion that Floyd Mayweather has these skills, these magical skills, you got to base it on the fact that he started controlling boxing, and when it was time to go through a gauntlet, he was selecting his opponents. When you select your opponents in athletics, anybody that's ever been an athlete or did anything competitive, you're going to look good when you set up the opponents. Okay. Floyd Mayweather, to me, never took his skills into a fight at the time that I wanted to see him fight a prime opponent. It was always orchestrated and selected. So therefore, it amplified his skills. Trinidad went through a true gauntlet, through a true good era of welterweights. And I don't see how Mayweather fits in that era and then beat Trinidad, let alone probably some of the other guys that we listed with those hands problems, the ability to sometimes just pick and poke and hang on the outside. Because a lot of times Floyd wasn't just using his feet to break down opponents and beat opponents at the 147 limit. He used that to stay out of bounds, stay out of range, and to burn down some clock. Andre Berto told you this already. He said, "Hey, man, the guy's a great clock manager. I'll throw a punch, and I'll see him duck back and look up, and he'll look at the clock." So I just think his skills are a little bit more exaggerated because of the era that we in. I got Trinidad destroying Floyd Mayweather.
No, styles make fights, man, and we're talking about a guy like Floyd Mayweather who has the ability to counter someone like someone like Trinidad, man. Trinidad was a great fighter, but his style also plays into Floyd's skill set. And I'm just telling you right now, I would have loved to. I wish this fight could have happened, because I would have loved to have bet you, because I would clean you out, bro. I'm telling you, Floyd would pick that, would beat the shit out of this dude.
You would do that because
yes, I would. Trinidad. I feel confident.
No, what I'm saying, what I'm saying is not because of the result of the fight. I'm saying Floyd wouldn't navigate to fight Trinidad, in my opinion. If Floyd was in the era with Ike Cortez, Floyd would not go through that gauntlet, man. I mean, he probably might pick Ubakar, retire for 2 years.
You talking about Ike Cortez? Come on, bro. That's another guy who's tailor-made for Floyd.
I'm not picking on one individual person so you can praise
Let me add
Floyd.
this.
I'm talking about the gauntlet of welterweights that were good.
Let me add this. So a fight that I look at that Floyd did win, okay, but that I look at is against an old De La Hoya at 154 pounds, right? I think that the jab was giving Floyd Mayweather a problem. Blood was coming out of his nose. The first 4 rounds, I don't know what that
noise. I hear a popping noise. What's that popping noise?
Who's doing a popping noise? I'm not sure. Yes. But I don't know. Okay. but either way, I think that's a fight to look at, right? Is there any, like, let's say a Vernon Forrest and his jab? Does anybody see Forrest giving Mayweather
Floyd.
some?
Yeah, I see. Someone's got some. Everyone, if everyone mutes, then you know where it's coming from. But like Vernon Forrest, I got Trinidad beating him as well. I agree with him, man. I like Floyd's skills, but you got to remember, like, Floyd's a multiple world champion. These guys that's their division, and these guys are very good at the division. You know what I mean, and Floyd great and against all them other guys there, but these guys are the cream of the crop, and they talk about Trinidad. What you just said there, like, I think if he faced Trinidad would have been the hardest puncher he thus faced at that time. No one hit harder than Trinidad, and it didn't matter if you was outpointing him. Ask Kevin Lucian, who I actually talked to. It didn't matter. Like, you could be outpointing him comfortably, but it wouldn't take Trinidad about a couple of seconds to land some of them shots there, and you'd be dizzy and you out there, boy. So
let me say this.
Go ahead, Curtis.
I ain't finished yet. I ain't finished yet. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there's no disrespect to Floyd. Floyd's got great skills and stuff like that. But Trinidad for me at 147 was a problem. So I got him. In answer to your question, I got Felix Trinidad. My read-on was zone.
All right, go ahead, Curtis.
Let me ask the people who pick Trinidad. I'm gonna ask this question: what makes you think Trinidad can beat Mayweather? Do you think he would have the ring IQ to beat Floyd? Because Trinidad depends on his power, and he's not hitting Floyd. Floyd is not giving him that opportunity, and Trinidad will get frustrated. I know Trinidad. I know him very well. I've been following him way before he was champion. You know, he will beat B and C level competition to a Pope. But when you look at his record, he has 3 losses against who? Hall of Fame fighters, Winky Wright, Bernard Hopkins, and Roy Jones. All 3 of them can box. And Floyd is a better boxer than all 3, you know, and Floyd is the master at neutralizing his opponent. Here's a guy who fought 26 world champions. He went through a gauntlet early in his career fighting tough fighters like Jesus Chavez. Look at that fight. And Carlos Hernandez when he broke his hand, and, you know, Diego Corrales. Floyd was a slight underdog. You know, when Diego Corrales knocked out Manfredi and Robert Garcia, the trainer, you know, people thought he was going to knock Floyd out. You know, Diego Corrales, I believe, was 33-0 with 30 knockouts. And
remember, he fought Sean Bay Mitchell too, man. Another great fight at that time. People forget about that. DeMarcus Carley was also a tough fight at the time as well.
Yep, and Chicanito Hernandez was 41-1. You know, only loss coming to De La Hoya and Henry Bruxelles and all those unknown, obscure, tough fighters, man. That the only real boxing fans would know. 26 world champions. So when you look at his record, half of his fights was against, you know, champions damn near. And see, Floyd changed after the Toro Gatti fight. He looked at boxing as a business. He went to maximize his dollars. That's why he was fighting. And this brilliant plan, he was fighting Mexican fighters on Cinco de Mayo. And that's strategy. That's brilliant. He maximized his dollars. And at the age of 36, beating Canelo like he did. And, you know, as more Canelo fight, and I think Canelo is a goddamn beast, man. I don't want to, you know, people may disagree with me. He washes everybody. I'm telling you about Canelo. I've been studying him. And when I seen the way Floyd beat him, that makes Floyd look even better. If you notice, he picks Canelo when he fights everybody. He don't want nobody beating Canelo, but, you know, Floyd, you know, I'll bring his name up because he's last of a special breed. Andre Ward was a very good fighter. Floyd Mayweather was a great special fighter. Joe Calzaghe was a very good fighter. I said those 3 guys because they was undefeated. But Floyd made people look ordinary. Now, Juan Manuel Marquez is one of my favorite fighters of all time. He was gone for 2 years and made Marquez look ordinary. And he didn't use his weight. He outclassed and outboxed Marquez. And Marquez is a great counterpuncher. I couldn't believe it. You know, so when you add that up, and I just saw the Pacquiao fight and Pacquiao raising his hands before the fight, and where was the fusillade of punches and the combination punches like
He
he was hitting
made him
Cotto.
put his hands in his pocket. Remember, he made him put his hands in the pocket. But I also think that Manny Pacquiao was destroyed mentally by the Marquez fight. The Marquez knockout to me ruined Pacquiao. Pacquiao stopped throwing the 4, 5, 6, 7 punch combinations that he used to throw. And now, if you look, he pretty much throws 1, 2, 3 at best 4.
Tell you what, let's do this matchup. Okay, I just thought about this. So, and let me first talk about this matchup, and then we'll talk about it. So, when Mayweather, as we all know, fought Jose Luis Castillo twice, right? Okay, the first fight was controversial. The second fight was not. I think the second fight was more competitive than some people say, although I feel Floyd clearly won, but that's not here nor there. We all know Jose Luis Castillo was the sparring partner of, and really good sparring partner of Julio Cesar Chavez, right? At 140 pounds, who do you guys think, Chavez or Mayweather? Who do you guys think wins that fight?
I got Floyd still, man. Floyd is the kind of he would frustrate him just like the way that Pernell Whitaker did to Chavez. Yeah, I think Floyd Mayweather frustrates Chavez the same way that Whitaker did, probably worse.
Maybe. How do you see it, Curtis?
I like Floyd because there's certain fighters on certain nights that's in their prime, and you stand up and applaud. I did it when Hector Camacho, who was supposed to have been the original Mayweather when you look at his skills. When Hector Camacho was in his prime, I said, this guy is going to be special. It didn't really work out like that. He fought a guy by the name of Jose Luis Ramirez, the guy that Whitaker fought, and he was brilliant that night. But I'm going to tell you, and another was Floyd versus Arturo Gatti. You don't have to look at the opponent. You can look at a fighter and tell you he had a great camp. You know, he doesn't have outside distractions, and his body physically is in like a well-oiled machine. And go look at the fight between him and Arturo Gatti. You know, because Floyd said it himself. After that, his body started to break down, but he was special that night. Hector Camacho was special that night. Pernell Whitaker is certain fighters that's in pristine condition. Chavez against Rosario, he beat the hell out of Rosario. Rosario was never the same, so I would have to say Floyd in that fight.
You know, a fight I always wanted to see, we could have seen, would be Chavez versus Zoo.
Well, hold that thought though, just so we can go through everybody. EJ, who do you think would win that fight? That's Chavez versus Whitaker. I'm sorry. Chavez versus Mayweather.
Oh yeah, that's a great fight, man. And the thing is, what I was just listening to what you're saying, and you know, he was a sparring partner of Julio Cesar Chavez, and the thing is, his sparring partner, he wasn't as good as Chavez. Chavez is obviously much better at 140, much better fighter at 140. It's not as easy as what most people think. You have to factor in here that Chavez is relentless style. He fights for the Mexican people, and he's not trying to lose nothing. Yeah, so he's gonna take a lot of shots from Floyd just to get a couple in, and the couple he can get in, he can really wound you at you. Everyone who's been in there, he got some serious body shots, uppercuts up close. You know what I mean? But Mayweather's very good. Mayweather's gonna be on his game, bro. He's going to be on his 8 game, and he may have got A-class conditioning, but Chavez as well. Chavez endures a whole heap of punishment just to get his shots in. It'll be a very close fight. Most people, on what we know of, we would just say Mayweather, but I won't be surprised if someone would pick Chavez, man, because it's that close in that fight. That fight is much closer to what most people think. I will edge it. I will slightly edge it to Mayweather. I will. Because I remember when he was fighting Major Taylor, and Major Taylor was doing a job on him, but Major Taylor was also taking them lumps, bro. So it's a question of, is Floyd taking them lumps, and is Floyd winning on points? But I give it to Floyd by a split decision. A great fight. So it's much closer than most people think about it. When you actually think about the way Chavez is. Chavez is infinitely much better than Castillo, much better. So it's a much harder fight, but a great matchup, by the way.
That's why I mentioned the Castillo fight, because I feel like Chavez would have done better than Castillo. So
But you also got to look at the other way too. That Floyd is better than Frankie Randall. Look what Frankie Randall did to Chavez.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Tom.
And I've heard about 5 wave of praises for Floyd. Did I hear correctly that when we was talking about Trinidad and we pointed to his 3 losses, did I hear somebody say that Floyd is better than the 3 people that beat Trinidad?
I said that. You don't think Floyd is better than him?
You tell then Bernard Hopkins and Winky Wright and Roy
You think
Jones?
they can box like Floyd?
Man, I heard it all, man. I heard it all. Man,
Floyd Mayweather, you underestimate Floyd, man.
Here's the thing. Relax.
No, I think he's talking about the skill, bro. We understand that them dudes are bigger fighters, but he's talking about the skill.
Listen. I know what we're talking about because I know you guys are sensationalizing the skill set of Floyd Mayweather. I just wanted to make sure that
I can't stand, bro. Can I tell you something? I hate that motherfucker. So one thing, if you don't know me, anybody know me, no, I can't stand Floyd. I hate the motherfucker with a passion. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I said the word I said was sensationalizing. I don't know if you hate him now. I don't really.
I've dealt with him personally, bro. I hate the dude.
Right, but I don't really care.
His skill when
it's no way. I just never heard. If you guys think that I'm cool with it, it's just that's wild to me that Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins.
But let's do this. Let's do this on. Who do you think wins between Chavez and Mayweather?
I mean, come on, man. Look, listen, dude. Look, you said it, and you kind of went toward it. You was making a comparison for Castillo. Chavez beats Floyd at 140, man. I mean, come on. Gotti. Man, come on. These comparisons and metaphors is ridiculous.
Hold on, didn't Floyd hurt his shoulder or his hand in the first fight? His shoulder, right? He had to have surgery when he came back in a rematch and completely outclassed him, right?
Yep.
Castillo, he outclassed. We talking about Chavez.
Yeah, I know, bro. That's what I'm saying. Healthy Floyd Mayweather. Healthy Floyd Mayweather outclasses. I will end up outclassing him too, bro. I'm just telling you.
Y'all didn't understand what I'm saying. What you did there didn't really make sense to me because you talked about Castillo and his hurt shoulder. I'm telling you that regardless of his hurt shoulder, Floyd Mayweather coming in 100% and Chavez coming in 100% in their primes at 140. Chavez wins.
No, if I could just get some type of was there any confirmation ever that his shoulder was hurt that we know of? Or did he just say that?
I don't man.
No, there was confirmation they did do that surgery, man.
Hold on. My only issue with that is that I mean, he agreed to fight. He showed up on fight night to fight him. Like a lot of fighters go into a fight and not 100%. A lot of fighters. You know what I mean? In boxing, it's very rare a guy goes 100%. Now, let's say I give him, the first fight. Okay, the second fight, Floyd clearly won. I just want to make that clear. But it was still like, it wasn't as one-sided as people make it seem. Not like he beat Castillo's ass. He went out there, he outboxed him, he fought a very smart fight. Castillo had a little more success, I think, than people give him credit for. But I just think Chavez is the far better version of that, and he has a few more tools than Castillo. I'm not saying that Chavez would beat Mayweather, but that would be a hell of a fight. I think that fight would be close. I also think Mayweather's style of defense, utilizing a shoulder roll, I don't know how successful that would be against Chavez personally. I do want to ask you, Curtis, do you think he would have a different approach to Chavez, or you think he would utilize the shoulder roll in that fight?
No, he would use his legs. Floyd is the master at distance. He would use his legs. People forget how good Floyd legs are. He at 140, he was different than 147. Giles was bigger, but from 130, 135, 140, Floyd was a very aggressive, offensive fighter. I know Chavez. I've seen him on Galavision. That's an old Mexican channel where they used to show boxing when I was growing up, when he fought Mario Martinez in that bloodbath. When you stand in front of fighters like Mike Tyson, Ernie Shavers, Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez, Felix Trinidad, Sonny Liston, they're gonna beat you because they depended on their power. But as soon as you give them lateral movement, you frustrate them. Look at the Pernell Whitaker and Chavez fight of '93. Look at Frankie Randall. He didn't move a lot. He was a master counter puncher. Those are the guys that give Chavez problems, not the ones that's going to stand there in front of him. Floyd had exquisite footwork. And we used to say in the gyms, you know, a fighter without footwork is like a blind man without a cane. You know, so when you look at all the great fighters who have footwork, you know, look at Lomachenko's footwork, Mayweather's footwork, Muhammad Ali in the 60s, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard. Those guys were successful, and they in every brawler that fought a scientific fighter, he lost. You know, so that's boxing 101. And when I was telling the brother on here, he's saying, Gaddy, you know, don't when a fighter annihilates his opponent, it's not the opponent, it's him being in pristine condition mentally and physically, where he looks so good he can never reach that height again. When Joe Louis lost to Max Mellon, and 2 years later, he cracked his vertebrae and knocked him out in the first round, it had nothing to do with Schmeling. It was all Lewis. It was his attitude, you know. And Roy Jones got stretched by Tarver. Roy Jones was an athletic fighter, but he had a weakness. He wasn't technically sound. Bernard Hopkins was a great fighter, but he lost to Jermaine Taylor. You know, Floyd would never lose to a guy like that. You know, and Winky Wright as well. Winky Wright got knocked out by the guy from Argentina. He was knocked down 5 times. I forgot his name, but you know, hey, I don't like the way Floyd moves, but I go by what my 2 eyes see on my TV watching Floyd, because I know about Floyd as an amateur when he was in camp with David Tua and people was talking about how great he was. He was like a marvel, you know, and Castillo was always an underrated fighter. You're going to have times in a fighter's career where they're going to have to, you know, grit a fight out. You know, if you want to say Castillo won, I gave the fight to Floyd. Would he have the draw? I would have been fine with that, you know. But Floyd, you know, is a special fighter because I like fighters who can win and beat a variety of styles.
So,
and Kurt, can I say this there, Kurt? Let me say this with Kurt. I'm gonna follow up with Kurt real quick and then I'll let you go, man. You know, I get it, man. I get it why a lot of people don't like Floyd. And Floyd is a hoe. He's a bitch ass nigga. I mean, we don't want to use that language on here, but I can't stand the dude, bro. I really can't. It's easy to pick against someone like Floyd based off the fact of the way he moved outside of the ring. All lives matter and all this other nonsense that he does, and the wearing the Gucci gear and all that. I get it. It's easy to not like this dude. This dude does a lot for a variety of reasons. You would want to root for Julio Cesar Chavez, which I would. I would hope that Chavez lay his ass out clean. But I'm just telling you, I don't like the dude. You don't understand, bro. And if you knew my story, Kurt know I don't like him. I don't like the dude. Period. But I mean, I just got to go off what I see, based off what I see. I don't like Timothy Bradley, and when I give him a Timothy Bradley can box, I can't stand the dude. Dude's a piece of shit. But I gotta go by what I see, and by what I see is Floyd has the ability to adapt, to use different styles. Floyd, you only use it if you go back. Floyd don't use the shoulder roll as much as people think. Floyd usually uses it when he has to seize the opportunity to set up offense. He doesn't use it as his primary defense. He uses that to counter off of. If you want to watch Floyd uses it for offensive purposes. Most people, you see these fighters now today, they're using it thinking that's a primary source of defense. It's not. He actually mixes in his variety, mixes in multiple styles of defenses. He doesn't just use the shoulder roll, man. If you go back and watch, he'll use that high guard as well. He has a variety of defenses. He's not used just a one style of defense in order to against an opponent. Really, it all depends on what the opponent is doing. Go ahead.
Thank you, African G, for that super chat. I appreciate it. Chavez is a better pressure fighter than Cotto. Well, duh.
Yeah. So the thing is this, man. and I, establishing that you don't like somebody in a boxer to gain credibility to what you say. I don't really care. I'm not interested in about Floyd outside the ring antics and all the coon talk. I'm just talking about boxing because I'm not trying to sell nobody on something. So what I'm saying is that Floyd Mayweather might have skills, but I have never seen it at a peak time against a peak opponent. When I go through his list and everybody else, if I ask, I know I get some answers. I didn't want to see him test his skills against Robert Guerrero. I didn't want to see it against Marcos Maidana ×2. I did not want to see it against Victor Ortiz. That's what I'm saying.
So
For me.
your issues
So
with Floyd at 147.
no, my issue is with the myth of the skill set, and the whole stem of the conversation is his skill set would allow him to be.
But what do you
these
think
guys
about
that we're talking about.
Prime Shane Mosley and Prime Kosher ducking him? What do you think about that?
What about? I'm not talking about the ducking. I'm talking about other opponents outside of them. I'm not talking about no Shane Mosley. I'm saying
Okay,
when there was an
hold on.
opportunity to
One second. So because you give me a lot of examples from 147, right? Can you give me some examples from 135 and 130?
the conversation is 147, right? With the conversations.
Well, the conversation is Mayweather in general right now because
no, I'm still. I mean, because don't. Okay, so what's happening here is my guys, they're talking for about 5 minutes apiece, and we're just being quiet and letting them go, and we're not getting a response. You kind of so we still.
I'm trying to get clarity. That's all. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I was responding because the guy earlier said that Floyd Mayweather's skill set is better than the 3 people that lost. So I was trying to get confirmation on that. And what my point is, regardless of his whatever weight class, 130 was pretty good. 140 was gaudy. It wasn't a lot of depth there. There's a lot of excuses. He say, she say. But the one division, 147, where I saw him operate for a extended period of time, supposedly be at the high level against the hottest division, I didn't see Floyd Mayweather plug his skills against somebody else that was dangerous in prime. When we look at the Pacquiao situation, regardless of whose fault it is, I'm not saying it's whose fault, who's wrong, who's right. We did not get it when we felt that both were at their peak. When we never got the Paul Williams fight, we never got the Shane Mosley fight in his when it's prime. Even though you can say who was wrong and who was right, it's a lot. We didn't get the Timothy Bradley fight. We were supposed to kind of get this thing where it was, do you want me to fight Amir Khan or do you want me to fight Marcos Maidana? And people supposedly picked Amir Khan, but somehow Maidana got the call. So I didn't get to see him against Thurman. I didn't get to see him against a Sean Porter. I mean, so I haven't seen him put his skills against anybody. When Winky Wright asked him, hey, me and my boy can fight at a catch weight at 152, he said he was too small. Years later, he grew into his body. He felt like he can do it with Canelo or Oscar De La Hoya. Oh, well, it's cool. But even when he fought De La Hoya, the part that I like about him fighting De La Hoya is because De La Hoya is a guy who likes to get the one up on Floyd. That shit was lame what he did, choosing that man gloves, being a diva, and I'm glad Floyd beat him on principle.
Okay, so zone.
The fight could have went either way.
Okay, the reason, like, I don't just interrupt to interrupt. It's I want to narrow down the conversation. So because you're all over the place at the moment. So when I asked, so your issues with Floyd at 147, you said no, but it sounds like it is, right? Your issues at 147.
No, I told you. That's what I'm saying. I said we talking about 147 because we were talking about Trinidad conversation. You using, huh?
No, but then when we moved on to a fantasy matchup with him and Chavez, we kind of went past that. You know what I mean?
Right, but no, I didn't go.
But let's go back to are you? Let's just get to the point. Are you disputing the fact that Floyd is not more skilled than the 3 mentioned fighters? And if so, give us your reasons. Like, what's your opinion on that?
Well, I just told you. You said, so I just told you. I have never seen I've seen those 3 guys go against top fighters at a high level is what I'm saying. I seen Winky Wright done it. We seen Roy Jones do it. We seen Bernard Hopkins do it. That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen Floyd do it. That's my point. Regardless, so if we want to go to the Chavez conversation or the 147 conversation or fantasy brackets, that's what I'm telling you about Floyd at 147.
What about Diego Corrales? He didn't do nothing to Diego Corrales.
I like the fight at Diego Corrales.
But wasn't that two high level fighters in that prime? I mean, going at each other. I mean, you know, Floyd. To some people, Floyd was the underdog.
Yeah, I like that fight. Okay. So where's the consistency? Give me consistency. Okay, I like that. Go ahead, Corrales, and give me another one.
50-0. That's consistency. 50-0, 20 years with no losses. Yeah. That's consistency.
Yeah, I know.
Canelo. Remember Canelo? And people Canelo fight. People were saying the Floyd is gonna lose to Canelo. And
I heard nobody saying that.
No, bro. Oh, you heard no one saying that. Do you need me to show you?
No, nobody. The people I know, and when I was,
I'm not people you saying, bro. In the national, bro, those national media figures that had favoring Canelo to win that fight. People remember before the people those fans. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. There were also fans pressuring Floyd and calling them a punk, saying, "Oh, Floyd would never take this fight against Canelo."
Give me the odds. Give me the odds on that. I need proof that he was the underdog.
I said there were some people saying that Floyd was the underdog, bro. I didn't say that all of that way like that.
Hold on. Zone, I just want to ask you, and then I want to go to EJ. He hasn't had a chance to say anything yet, but
yeah. No, go to EJ because EJ been waiting.
I want to ask you a question, though. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Are you saying that the Canelo fight's not an impressive fight to you? Is that what you're saying?
I like the Canelo fight. It's okay. I would have rather seen the Pacquiao fight at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. So what? Canelo he's okay.
No, he's more than okay. Okay. No, Canelo's not okay. That's a bad. Canelo's a bad,
bro. You gotta stop, man.
Canelo's a bad.
I understand. You don't like Floyd, and for good reason. Floyd has done everything to do. But I think you don't like Floyd. I think your dislike of Floyd is blinding you to some of the stuff, bro.
Well, no, actually, I know the selection of opponents. I'm just telling you, I did. Okay, so you may like Victor Ortiz's fight, and you may thought it was the best thing you saw. I didn't.
Hold on, yeah, that's a good one. AJ 10. Yeah, Floyd was 36 years old. He was out of his prime when we beat up Canelo. Out of his prime.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fights that I didn't feel like was a high level skilled display from Floyd. It was just him running out the clock. Is it not he not scoring, or is it just that since Floyd is so skilled that he makes it look easier, and so you just say because Floyd wins those fights so easy that people think that he didn't really fight nobody.
Yeah, but
Robert Guerrero is nobody. I'm saying I understand what you're saying, but
I understand that, but talking about Robert Guerrero, but Robert Guerrero won his only opponent, brother.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm naming. I said Victor Ortiz. I said Robert Guerrero. I'm saying Berto. I'm naming a lot of shitty opponents. I'm just being real with you. You keep acting like I'm naming a lot of shitty opponents, bro.
Okay, Floyd Mayweather fought a lot. Whoa. Okay, Floyd fought a lot of people that you could argue maybe we would have preferred for him to fight somebody else, especially at 147 pounds. I will agree with you with that, but the guys Floyd beat at 147, bro, a lot of dudes, including a lot of guys today, would take that resume right now.
Yeah, but D-Style, now I know your track record.
Yeah.
Since you've been here, give me the fight, all of them. If you feel Marquez was a great fight at that time, it's so. Do you believe that all his fights were on time and the best that you want to see from Floyd, in your own personal opinion?
I just said that at 147 pounds, there was a lot left to be desired, in my opinion. But I also added that any welterweight today would take that welterweight resume.
Yeah, but okay, that's fine. But is there any fight that you could think of at 147?
Yes, I wanted him to fight Paul Williams, for example. I wanted him to fight at the time Margarito.
Who he fought? No, I'm with you because I know the names. I know what you said. I'm saying, but of who he fought.
People.
Okay,
people said the same thing about Roy Jones Jr., bro.
Well, I'm asking D-Style. I'm just asking D-Style a question, man. It's okay.
Okay, as far as 147, I think the Haddon win was a good win. You don't think that was a good win?
I'm saying you like that fight at that time?
It was that fight was a good fight at the time. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Haddon was undefeated. He had just defeated.
No, I'm saying I like it. Okay.
You know what I mean? He did retire after that. I think the De La Hoya win.
Paul Williams then. I think he could have fought Paul Williams or Cotto then at that time instead of Ricky Haddon. But okay.
Okay, but we could say that about just about any fight.
No, I got you. No, I'm saying.
Hey, but remember when he beat Emmanuel Augustus? That was a great win at that time too.
Let's get EJ on here. What's up, EJ? You're all like quiet. Are you asleep?
No. I'm trying to track onto the conversation. You know, it's going ebbs and flows. I'm trying to keep up.
Well, that's why, that's why I'm trying to kind of keep it on as far as
first of all, I'll give big out to obviously Parner Wicker winning the tournament. I think we moved on to where Floyd. We're talking about Floyd versus Philip Trinidad. We was talking about that, and everyone was saying why he would beat him. And someone mentioned the losses as Trinidad, but all of them losses were at welterweight. It wasn't at welterweight. Trinidad never lost that welterweight, but at other divisions at middleweight, and he just makes some weight. Bernard Hopkins got him at middleweight. Roy Jones got him at a light heavyweight, and also Winky Wright got him at a higher weight. So out of his weight class, it shows you how it's not easy to move up your weight class and win. But at welterweight at 147, he was that dude. Like I said to you, you could be outboxing him wherever. Like you could be losing on points. He can box now, but that wasn't his strong point. But at welterweight, he was that dude, and that's why I feel like he would have beat Floyd at welterweight. That's on purely simple. What Trinidad was doing is damage. Just dangerous at welterweight. Absolutely dangerous, bro. He can get off the floor however you like it. Floyd, Trinidad would do it. So that's where I was at that point. In talking about Floyd Mayweather and his resume and comparison, we're always gonna be more critic of what Floyd should have did and did and stuff like that. I mean, I personally wanted to see Corey Spinks, but obviously Zab Judah brought that. But there was a point where they was in a press conference, they were arguing the two great boxing families, the Spinks and the Mayweathers. I really wanted to see that, but obviously, like I said, Zab Judah came in and beat it, and Floyd put Zab Judah and then Carlos Baldomir. But that would have been, for me, would have been a great fight. I would have loved to have seen it, to see, that kind of stuff, because if you just beat Mayoga, I would have loved to see that. But that's what
I say something real quick about what you just said, that all of the fights was not at welterweight, but you got to remember what changed Trinidad career for the worse is the De La Hoya fight, and that was at 147. Trinidad didn't win that fight. De La Hoya lost it because he, ran around the ring the last 3 rounds, but he really wrote the blueprint and how to beat Trinidad, because when I saw that fight, I told my friends, it was like 50 people in my living room. I said, you know what? I says, Trinidad was exposed tonight, and the first boxer he fights that's a high level, he's going to get knocked out. That's what I said, because I saw it, because I said this too. And I said, there's a weakness, with Trinidad, because he always got knocked down. Anthony Stevens, Larry Barnes, Obakar.
Kevolution. But what I'm saying is that he always showed vulnerability. That wasn't that De La Hoya didn't put the blueprint. The only problem De La Hoya didn't do is finish the job. Is go in there and finish the job. All them guys, they all do that. They all look like they're outputting Trinidad. But when they taste that lever, that's what De La Hoya did. You see what I'm saying? Like you can be up and people don't, and that was the fight of the end of the last decade. You got to do more than that. De La Hoya could have capped it. He didn't. He was up on the scorecards. He was up on the scorecards. I agree with you, but he didn't go in and do what he needed to do, right? And the reason why, because he was worried about what Ike Corte. I'm teaming Ike Corte. That's the real reason. When he put himself on the back, what Ike Corte to him, that was still in the back of his head. So that ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? That's why he went on the run. And they gave and you know what? I was happy they gave it to Trinidad, because De La Hoya got the victory over Parner Whitaker and other opponents that I didn't think he deserved. So I was happy about that. So I ain't gonna give De La Hoya nothing. I'm just gonna tell you how it is. This Trinidad was a bad guy at 147, and that's why I'm sticking on that. But even
so you felt like I felt since he ran the last 3 rounds. I had said during the fight, I said he ran the last 3 rounds. Hopefully the judges will change the scorecards and give it to Trinidad, since Oscar De La Hoya decided to become a track star the last 3 rounds. I said he was looking he was running faster than Gene Witter did in his fights.
I want to say this and kind of piggyback off of what Curtis Anderson said. So it's okay if fighters lose, right? A lot of people look at losses and they say, "Oh, look, this guy lost," right? Like Robinson lost, but guess what? He avenged his losses. Okay, many times. So Trinidad never went back and avenged not only his losses, but like showed that he can evolve as a fighter and improve and be able to beat those styles. Instead, he just shut down and just packed up his shit and left the sport. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about Trinidad.
And you're right, D-Style.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
So he should have done what Shane Mosley did.
Right.
He wasn't beating no Hopkins now. So what's the point?
On,
you know
no, but how about show me you could improve?
He wasn't going to improve. That's the whole thing.
Give us a scenario.
He wasn't going to
one at a time, fellas.
Well, one at a time. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So I understand if he was going to win, but I don't see how he's winning. I don't see how he's beating Winky Wright in a rematch. I don't see how he's beating Roy Jones in a rematch. I don't see how he's beating Bernard Hopkins in a rematch. I agree with you. Like, shows heart, but what I'm trying to say to you is that end of the day, Shane Mosley did that, and he don't get no credit for it. He went back in there, lost to Vernon Forrest twice, lost to one of Winky White. Yeah, they say he's a Hall of Famer, but it just sometimes they don't need that. You don't need to do it. You know what I mean? Like even with Oscar De La Hoya, right? When he lost, he eventually went in there, but it wasn't straight away. He took his time. Maybe he wanted to, but I'm saying I don't see how we would have all won them fights. That's just how I saw it. But I hear what you're saying.
Did you guys really ask me, like, give me an example of a guy that lost and won the rematch? Is that what you asked me?
Yeah. I want to ask him something, EJ.
Is that the question?
Can you explain to me, EJ, how he would beat Floyd Mayweather? Because I just don't see it at all, bro.
I already said it already. I explained to you at 147, no one's beating Trinidad.
No, you tell me how he would do it. That's what I'm asking. How would he do it?
Can you break it down?
Oh yeah, easily. I told you the pressure he's putting on pressure he's putting on Floyd, right? Extreme pressure he's putting on Floyd. Eventually he's gonna catch Floyd with something, and then Floyd's gonna get but even like a Shea Mosley. And Trinidad's a merciless finisher. Merciless finisher. Like, see the thing is, yeah, see the thing about Trinidad, yeah. And we all have to agree at 147, Mayweather wasn't a big puncher. He had respectable power, right? Trinidad be on him, bro, on him with jabs, everything. Like he'd be in that Philly shell most of the time trying to cover up. And he's on top of that, he's got to try and throw punches back on Trinidad to hurt him. You know, Trinidad is in superior condition at 147. I mean, you have to look in it. Yeah, you look at all the times he knocked him down and stuff like that. But Floyd's not a very big punch at 147. So Trinidad will put pressure on Floyd. Floyd be circling around the ring. I can't see Floyd standing with him and just trying to pick him off in that area. Like I can't see that. Even when even the old Parnell Whitaker tried to do, you're gonna get caught with something. It ain't funny. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna say something controversial.
Let me say something controversial. Much. I ain't finished though. It doesn't take much, yeah, because I'm breaking. It doesn't take much to get hurt by Trinidad. It doesn't get much to get hurt. Uppercut, a left hook, it don't get much, yeah, and you're gonna be wobbly streak. And Trinidad's a merciless finisher. So that's how I see him breaking him down, putting pressure on Floyd circling. I don't think Floyd's got anything to deter Trinidad from coming forward. So that's how I see the fight going. Go ahead.
Sound like you just started Timothy Bradley.
No, so I'm gonna say something. That's why I completely disagree. Shane Mosley said that Floyd Mayweather hit just as hard as Saul Canelo Alvarez. So, and if you watch Floyd, you just didn't really see dudes willing to walk through anything. And we all know that Trinidad puts a lot of pressure on the front foot. Floyd would have dropped Trinidad more than likely at 147. And then I'm about to say something that's going to drive everybody crazy. I think Canelo Alvarez beats Trinidad from just styles make fights at 147. I do. And I know a lot of people going to be like, oh, how can you say something like that? Styles make fights. I got Canelo over.
Just like Vargas. It looked just like Fernando Vargas.
I completely disagree. Canelo's a much better defensive fighter than Vargas.
I know.
Canelo got a granite chin, man. That ain't happening.
All right. Y'all sleep on Vargas, man. Vargas got in there too early.
It's a lot of great matchups there, guys. But look, this is what I know. I think Trinidad's hook was a little too telegraphed to land it on Floyd. Like, here's what I want to ask EJ really quick. All right. Floyd's going to take away his best punch, right? He's going to take away that hook, bro. So what else is Trinidad going to do to Floyd?
You're saying he's gonna take away his punches, but Trinidad that's not gonna. Okay, even let's say he doesn't lose the left hook, right?
He pivots that front foot, bro. It's too telegraphic.
Yeah. Fine. So you're giving Trinidad a handicap so Trinidad got to fight from a handicap. No problem. He's still got a reach advantage. And he's still got a straight right hand. You know what I mean? Like it just, and he's still taller. He's like, what is he? What is he? Near 6 foot? He's still got
5'11".
You still got to deal with all these things here, man. You know what I mean? Like he's a problem. He's just a problem all round. You know what I mean? You can take whatever you want. At 147, he's a problem. And most people will tell you at that fight, and he's on it. Trinidad's gonna force you. He's gonna force you into something. He don't care. He just didn't care about even if he got knocked down, whatever. He's just relentless, bro. Like, but
that would be the problem.
Yeah, it get beat badly.
Yeah, he's drawn into that. That's Trinidad's type of fight, though. That's what I'm trying to say to you. You're drawn into a fight. You're drawn into something you don't want to be in, and he just keeps coming at you. And that's why I feel like in that sort of fight, Trinidad gonna get the better. You know what I mean?
You're making a. Let me say this. You're making a mistake that millions of boxer fans make. You're depending on power, and boxing is so much more than that. And like I said earlier, I named all the power punchers who were neutralized by boxers. I said Chavez. I said Liston. I said Tyson. You know, I said Trinidad. They all punchers, and they all got neutralized by scientific fighters. You can't hurt what you can't hit. Floyd will take that hook away from that. Floyd will take that away from you. And like I said, Trinidad doesn't have the moxie or savvy to beat a guy like Mayweather. You keep saying the 147. But he was beating B and C level at 147 when he stepped up in competition. That just happened to be at a higher weight. But if he would have fought top level competition at 147, he would have lost too. He would have lost.
But Trinidad is that at 147. He's top A class competition is what we're talking about here, right? Like,
but he also tips his punches, though, man.
Listen, bro. Like, you're not wrong in your opinion. I'm just that. This is my opinion on how I see it. You understand what I'm saying? The fight ain't gonna happen. We're just talking about it like hypothetically.
What I'm
saying to you is that. So that's what I'm saying to you. Like, so they ain't gonna fight. But what I'm saying to you, from my opinion, for what I'm saying, and I wasn't relying on his power though. He got good boxing skills. Now Floyd's a better boxer. I'm just trying to tell you that. Remember, you have to bear in mind that's his weight class. He started. Right, and Floyd came up the weights. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have to go by. And we're at 147. That's what we're sticking by. So that's where I am. That's where I'm. I have to go by what we're talking about.
I mean, you're not alone, EJ. What were we gonna say, Zone?
I was saying that's the same thing with Chavez. We just going through the divisions, D-style, because I know you were saying we was all over the place, but we were just responding to what they had said for 10 minutes.
No, but can we talk about the fact that Chavez? I mean, it's not Chavez. Excuse me. That Trinidad does tip his punches. That's a mistake against Floyd Mayweather, bro. That's a mistake.
I mean, just to provide clarity here, right? I think Chavez has a far better chance against Mayweather than Tito Trinidad. Right?
No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
All right. So like I was giving an argument that. Because we're talking about different things here. When we're talking about the Tito Trinidad situation, I asked that simply because more likely it would have been Floyd Trinidad in the final. That's why we asked about that. If Whitaker didn't eliminate him, that's why we talked about that, right? So we went from that, and then we were kind of like done with that. And I know you did want like an answer as far as the more skilled that. The comment about Trinidad losing to three fighters that were less skilled than Floyd. I understand you wanted kind of an answer on that, but we also talked about the Chavez fight. You know what I mean? And then
no, I'm with you.
And then you kind of dove into Mayweather's career as a whole, but you were like focusing on the welterweight kind of situation. So those are the three things we were kind of looking at. So I just wanted to separate those three things, right?
Yeah, we good right now on the Trinidad situation. You segued into the Chavez situation, and I agree with you on the Chavez situation.
In a second, because I want to say about Genaro Hernandez is another good fight that Floyd had too, man. He had a lot of good fights, man. That's people just really, especially early on in the career, that Pretty Boy stage was no joke.
Yeah,
that was probably the best stage. But you know.
and there was also a fight, by the way, that some people felt was maybe a little too early for Floyd. Floyd was really young at the time against a veteran like Hernandez, and he went in there and dominated that fight. You know what I mean? But with that said, guys, I do gotta cut this one. I'm gonna give everybody a chance. Curtis Anderson, I know your phone's heating up, but any final words? Well, he fell off, so it happens. Kelly, any final words, bro?
Oh man, yeah. Thanks for letting me come on, man. This was fun. The tournament, the tournament talk. Yeah, this is the best, probably the best idea some of your best shows is actually the tournaments, man. It's good to debate. Fantasy boxing matches is better than these. Better fantasy boxing matches are better than some of the fights or better than some of the fights that we can't get today. Unfortunately,
yeah,
the fights that should be easy to make, but aren't easy to make. But I can't wait to talk about some of the other subjects at hand that we tend to bring up as well. As we tend to bring up more Bible talk, and I definitely want to get back into more of that as well. But yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Go live tomorrow with that for sure.
Yeah,
tomorrow
man.
I'm going to be doing the draft for 135 pounds. I need 2 eras. We'll draft the fighters, and we'll have the chat make the matches again, and we'll go from there. All right.
135 stick.
135 for sure. Zone. Any final thoughts, bro?
Oh man, it was good, man. Good time with you guys, man. Shout out to all you guys for on the panel doing your thing, speaking your boxing knowledge. This is the kind of stuff we need, man. Expand the mind and grow as boxing fans and stuff like that. Have people think deeper. Appreciate you, D-Style.
All right, man. And everybody in the chat, by the way, throw a jab. And EJ Boxing Live here. EJ Boxing Live here. EJ Boxing Live.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Kelly. Yeah, some of the matchups are better than what we're gonna see probably this season if we have a fight. So I agree with that. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed the tournaments, and yeah, definitely I enjoyed the Bible studies. Or it's not really Bible studies, but I enjoyed the religious talks. Getting to that, I was on Bias's talk, and they had a guy come over. He said that the royal family, when they sleep with each other like Game of Thrones. He said they empower each other. He goes, how come they tell everyone not to do it? Some guy was talking about some weird stuff on there, man. I swear my eyes are popping out here. So
what did he say? Hold on, repeat that again. Hold on, no, go back. What did you just say? All
right, so he said that why do the government on people tell people not to sleep with their family members? And I was like, what? So what? He said,
because it's disgusting.
Listen, and rich people do it. Rich people are allowed to do it, and they obviously, and bro, I'm telling you, yeah, I was like, I'm telling you, man. And they start talking about the lizards, the royal family, and you started some religious talks.
What are you talking about, cousin sex or sibling sex?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Yeah. So, anyway, FA's channel, you could just check
God.
But hey, anyway, but
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I was just like, what the? But anyway, I'm enjoying the religious studies and talking about that. And obviously, it was great. The tournament. I'm glad that Parnell got his just due respect. Big up to D-Style Boxing and the tournaments. And I look forward to any content D-Styles.
What is family? I just want to ask you, what does family sex got to do with religion, man? I just don't understand, man.
No,
I don't know, and I don't want to. But
hey, listen, you can find it on LFA's channel, and you can get into it. It's some crazy shit, man. But anyway, yeah, I'm EJ Boxing Live. Thanks for letting me come over these stars. I appreciate it.
Okay. I don't know if I want to look at that, but that's a different story. Everybody, I want to thank everybody once again. As a reminder, we'll be doing tomorrow the draft. It might be 135, it might be heavyweights, but we will see. So stay tuned for that one. I do not select the matches. You guys do. Okay. So stay tuned for that one tomorrow. This is D-Style Boxing. I'm out. Peace.